What is up, SOBs? Oh, all my papers fell down at the perfect moment. Thank you, papers. You betrayed me for the last time. My name's Andrew ORVEDAHL. I am filling in for the peerless Jared Logan as we are about to embark on part 2 of The Harvest, a Call of Cthulhu adventure with an amazing cast. I want to get right into the game because I'm notorious for stretching one-parters into two-parters and two-parters into three-parters, and that can't happen. So I'm excited for the conclusion of this game, and I want to jump right into it. But before that, I want to summon Secret Keeper Clint Trucks with a special announcement. Clint, perfect time.
I am summoned. Hello, everybody. Just really quick for the folks who don't stick around for the credits at the end. Our regular Saturday game, Blood and Blades, sadly is canceled this Saturday. We sincerely apologize, everybody. We'll go into greater detail in the end credits, but just want to put that at the top since it just happened recently. No Blood and Blades this Saturday. Sincere apologies, but you've got tonight's great game. Enjoy.
Thank you, Clint Trucks. And you should stay for the end credits just to hear me stumble through them. It's worth it. I mean, that alone is a feast for the senses. So, let's bring our players in. We'll do a recap and we'll jump right back into it. The first player I want to bring in, they are playing a university administrator named Herman. They are the dungeon master on the Better Than Heroes actual play stream. They are also my co-host on a game master talk show called The Dungeon, which airs on the Better Than Heroes stream. Please welcome Harlan Kelly.
Hi, hello.
Hello.
Happy to be here.
Bringing back Herman Wellspring. And last we saw Herman, he had a rifle sort of steadied at a horrific scene with his finger on the trigger, which is right where we're going to jump back into with him. Your next player is also in that scene. She was the head writer on the Disney Plus show Earth to Ned, which is a great show. If you haven't checked it out, you should check it out. She's also an amazing comedian who released an album last year called Regarding My Lovers, and she's also responsible for this mustache because she thought it looked cool. Please welcome ELIZA Skinner.
Yeah! You can't blame me for your mustache.
I am directly blaming you for it.
Well, it does look cool. It's the best mustache. I call that style of mustache the Hetfield. That is James Hetfield's signature mustache. Cool. All right. And
He's
I kind of have his
I know that.
That's right. Yeah. Nice, Harlan.
Thank you.
Cool. I'll take it. Your third player this unfortunately Nora Ibrahim could not come back for this session. But thank you. Chad is already in support of the mustache. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, Nora Ibrahim had a schedule conflict and could not come back despite her amazing performance and stellar prop use. She's will be missed.
She's not just avoiding the mustache.
I don't think she knows about it. Yeah, it could have been. Yeah, that could be it. But Stream of Blood has like an insane roster depth to pull from. So fear not. We have an amazing player jumping in. He's an actor and he's the game master of the Spot Hidden stream, which is an actual play Call of Cthulhu show. Please welcome London Carlisle. Awesome. Thank you so much for joining us, London.
Hello.
And in for the second part of this game, right where we left off at a particularly gross moment.
Indeed. Indeed. So I heard that there was a mustache here tonight, so I can read over.
Cool. Thank you. You know, it repels some people, but then it brings other people in. It's an equalizing mustache. So just to recap, for those of you who maybe missed part one or forgot about part one, what happened in part one, members of the Neptune Society were summoned at great haste to a hospital in rural France where a doctor, Dr. Henri Vess, had a very peculiar case with his patients that he wanted some unusual expertise with. And when the players got there, he led them into the room where those patients were, and they were in cocoons. They were in these gross, kind of crusty, scabby cocoons. It's
probably gonna take another 20 minutes or so.
And he
Sorry.
and and he described their symptoms. They had like an insatiable hunger. They had like a terrible rash, which became pustules, which then leaked and formed these cocoons. The players then ventured into the nearby town of Puyan, where they found a packed to capacity restaurant full of just people obsessively eating. They kind of learned a bit of mystery about the patron saint of Puyan, a monk named Brother Etienne, who is believed to be the hero of the monastery where the hospital was built. Although Herman, with his vast knowledge of books, has had some conflicting knowledge that perhaps Saint Etienne had actually burned the monastery down. But he's generally regarded as the hero of Puyan. They then returned to the hospital where they had a brief chat with Gabrielle, the young nurse who works at the hospital, who elaborated a little bit more on the patient's symptoms and said that the very first individual to show the symptoms, a hunter named Christian, was kind of babbling on and on about a bone that he found in the woods. That was shortly before he grew comatose and then was cocooned. So our intrepid investigators ended up in the surgical suite with Dr. Vess to crack open this cocoon. And Franny Chump used her barmaid might to crack open that cocoon. And inside, they found a horrific sight, spectacularly drawn by Will Pothorf, of a partially transformed woman curled up inside, seemingly barely alive. So horrifying that Franny Chump went insane and climbed up on the table and then was cradling it like a baby. Yeah, there it is. Was cradling it like a baby while Belinda and Herman were watching in horror, and Herman drew his .22 rifle and was drawing a bead on this this monstrosity that sort of just had like a half-formed face, and it was kind of whispering as Franny was leaning down on it. It was whispering like Saiti, Saiti, and then it lunged for her, and that's where we cut. And we're going to come right back into that scene with Herman's finger on the trigger. Franny is sitting on the table, cradling him. And London, we will introduce your character as we resolve this scene.
Okay, great.
Although it would be cool to just have you like kick down the door in this exact moment.
Herman, there you are.
What did I miss?
So what would you like to do, Herman? Before we take the break, you said you were pulling that trigger.
Oh boy!
I guess I've given you a week to consider it.
Andrew, this is the difference between you and me in these situations. As I know, as I GM for you, I know how much time and thought you put into the decisions that your characters make, especially tactically. But boy, I am not
that's
that way.
Kind of a backhanded compliment, but yeah, I get it. I gobble up too much time in the game.
No, you do it between games. Anyway, sorry. Oh yeah, Herman, absolutely. I'm steadfast with this. He had this moment. He's breaking a little bit here in the sense that he came here as a skeptic. He came here as like I'm having fun doing this, and he's had a couple of moments. He was something tried to take over his mind. Maybe I'm not sure what would happen, but he touched the occult a little bit in some way, touched the other world, and so he absolutely is rattled, is shaken, and is making decisive action, kind of to go in and just shoot that shot, try and just get that immediate kill wound.
Roll an attack roll. You're going to roll that D100. You're trying to roll under a 45.
All right.
And I'm going to tell you before you tell me the results of that dice. If you miss, Franny's getting shot with
that. Well, I got an 88. So.
All right. Go ahead and roll that damage.
All righty. Could you remind me what my damage for the firearm?
Your damage is 1d6 plus 1.
Okay. Thank you very much. I got a 6, so that's 7.
Oh my goodness. Franny, you're going to take 7 damage. That I believe is going to give you a major wound. And it is,
and that's on my hit points. Yes. Sorry.
Yes, they're up there in the.
Somewhat new to me.
They're up there in the left corner, and it's going to knock you back off the table. You kind of fall on the table with this like body that you were cradling kind of on you, and it's kind of just like thrashing around. And it's as you're kind of slumped back against the wall, it's like trying to bite you, bite your face and bite your neck, but it hasn't formed its like jaw, so it's just sort of like slopping against your face and like leaving that disgusting kind of thick yellow fluid that was inside the cocoon kind of all over your face as it's kind of like thrashing around. And then with a gurgle, it kind of finally lays back and is still, and it is no longer moving.
Okay, so I still got it. I just got Franny too.
No, you just shot Franny.
Okay, I only shot. There's no.
Okay,
no, okay, great.
So as it's gumming at me, I'm just going, "Oi, no, mum, no, mummy, please, why, no."
Yeah, and I'll say, Herman, you shot her like through the shoulder.
Okay, great.
I'm
glad you know what specific horror I inflicted upon.
Yeah.
Franny. Thank you.
You're
for
welcome.
That
You're welcome.
And if I remember correctly, I was driven temporarily insane. So how long do I stay insane?
You were not going to be insane for very long, but I'm going to say that the shock of being shot is going to. I'll go ahead and hand wave that you kind of are jolted back to reality, covered in this like goop with this terrible pain, and you need to make a Constitution roll, and you're trying to roll under a 77.
I feel like I lose dice every time I put them away. Okay. I made a 30 even.
Cool. Okay. Then it is not a major wound. It's just you've just lost a bunch of hit points. Dr. Vess, who was kind of standing in the corner, horrified, kind of runs over, and he's like looking at you, Herman, like, and the gun that's like smoking in your hands, and he's like, Mia, put that thing away. Put that thing away. Help me with your friend. And he's like pulling the kind of transformed woman away, and kind of gingerly helping Franny to her feet.
I'm gonna look at him and say, "Is it dead? Is it dead?" Just like pointing at this carcass of a thing.
Your friend will be dead if you do not put that gun away.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say, like, grab him by the shirt and be like, "Answer me! Is it dead?"
He kind of like kicks at it with his foot as he's got his arm around Franny, and the thing is just kind of like lolling there on the floor.
I need you to say it to me.
Monsieur, it appears dead, but let me help your friend, and then I will give it a closer inspection.
Thank you.
Can I know I'm in pain, but can I drag myself up and also grab his lapels?
Yes, from both sides. Yeah.
Yeah, and go, am I a pretty baby? Am I a pretty baby?
He's like, you're in shock. You're in shock. Come. And he kind of like guides you out of the room.
Okay. And then Franny's like, fresh.
Yeah. We can kind of like fade on that scene unless you wanted to do something else, Herman.
No, I feel good with that end. Absolutely.
Okay. Herman, are you staying in the room with the transformed horror?
Yeah, I think if given the choice, I would choose to stay because I would rather watch it than have it, kind of like keep an eye on it. So yeah. Okay,
cool. Great. So we can fade out on that scene, and Franny, fortunately for you, you did get badly hurt in a hospital with some pretty competent people there. So Dr. Vess and Gabrielle are going to treat your wound while Herman, you can tell me what you want to do as time passes. And Belinda just leaves. She's just gone. 1 minute she was in the room screaming alongside all of you, and the next minute she's gone. She just like packed her shit and she has left the hospital. And now we will cut to a new member of the Neptune Society. The call for members to arrive went out to all different members of the Neptune Society. So some may be arriving at a different time than others. So London, if you would like to introduce your characters, you are dropped off in front of this small hospital. You can see that much of the building is made from mortared stonework, but you can see that there's like wooden walls that have been built kind of on top of it. It's kind of clearly like two buildings that have meshed together.
Yes, so I am playing Tertius Chambers. Tertius Chambers is an artist by trade, a painter to be more specific. And looking at Tertius, the first thing you notice is sort of his aura. He has a sort of constant sullen expression on his face. His clothes and demeanor untidy, but he means well. Dark-skinned man. He has like a short fro that kind of pops out of the top of his head there, and he's never seen without his art supplies. As a member of the society, he sees lots of crazy things, and he likes to get them down in his sketchbook. Later, these become his paintings that he tries to sell. He's not making much money, but he does it for the love of it.
Can I ask a question?
Indeed.
The untidy clothes, is that due to financial distress or artistic temperament and distraction?
It started off as the first, but it quickly became the latter.
Okay.
It's
right.
The untidiness is cool. It's a cool untidiness.
Right. It's like a head in the clouds.
Yeah. And he has like sort of spatters of paint that are like on his clothes, on his fingers, that he just doesn't take off because he doesn't have to.
Cool.
I love it.
Cool. Okay.
So he's a painter and he also sketches. What sort of paintings does he do? Are they like kind of realistic depictions of the sketches, or what style does he paint in?
Yeah. So they are pretty much realistic, as you mentioned, depictions of the sketches, but there's always some weird element, whether it's the colors that don't match what he was looking at, or there's some strange figure in there as well. But he has a catalog of things there that are inspired by his adventures with the society.
Awesome. I love it.
I have a prop if you need it.
I'll take it.
I have.
Oh yeah, you can just pass it over.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Wow.
Hey!
Oh, amazing.
Nice.
Magic. I love it. That's great. And so you have been a member of the Neptune Society for some time.
Indeed.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, great. Cool. Great. So yeah, as you're standing there, there is a young woman. She's dressed like a nurse, and she's shakily smoking a cigarette and kind of just staring off into the distance as you're standing there. It's also incredibly hot. I forgot to mention that in the recap for those of you who would like that extra level of sensory. It's in the midst of a unseasonal September heat wave, and everyone is just kind of miserably hot.
It's oozy and hot. There's lots of ooze, and it's very
Oozing,
hot.
yeah, gross things happening, and heat.
The line between ooze and sweat, very thin.
So, seeing this person smoking, Tertius approaches. Hello, excuse me. Have you seen Wellspring and Chump, my companions?
It's like it takes a moment. She's like taking like a long pull on the cigarette, and she kind of blinks as if your voice is coming from somewhere far away, and she sort of is like surprised to see you standing there next to her. She's like, your companions, they're inside.
Thank you very much. Does anything seem off about this person outside? Are they behaving normally?
Without just on the surface, I'll just say
On the
that
surface.
they clearly look rattled, as if they've seen something horrible. And this being a hospital, it could go either way. Like your experience with the Neptune Society, it's like this person could have seen something a bit more paranormal, or maybe she just saw something more conventionally horrific, like a farming accident.
Excuse me, you look a little disturbed. Is Is everything okay?
You are with them? La Societe Neptune?
Yes. Neptune, yes. Indeed.
Yes, Dr. Vess will tell you more than I can, but we examined one of the patients today, and it was horrible. It was a woman, but not. She was no longer herself.
Oh.
But if you go inside here, I will take you to Dr. Vess.
I must see this at once. And then he like just bolts through the door. Like he just like leaves her behind. Oh, I gotta see this.
Cool. Yeah, she's doing that smoker thing of trying to like, maybe I'll take one or two more drags before I put this out, and you're gone. You're just like inside. And inside the hospital, it's pretty dimly lit because the windows are kind of just pretty narrow little rectangles. So despite it being the afternoon, it's pretty dim inside and maybe 1 degree cooler. There's flies kind of buzzing everywhere, and it just has this sort of overwhelming, terrible smell of a hospital in 1872. It just kind of, there's this underlying reek of putrefaction. And as you storm in, there's like a large, heavily built man behind a desk there in sort of the waiting area, and he kind of just takes you in at a glance and seems to kind of gather why you're there, and he kind of like jerks his head toward the room beyond him.
And I proceed directly to that room. Right behind him, grabbing my sketch pad, just having it at the ready.
Cool. I love it.
Do we know? How do you say your first? The
Tertius.
Tertius. Tertius.
That's totally up to you all, because you all have a little experience with the Neptune Society. So I totally leave it up to you as the players for your histories between each other.
Tertius, how would you feel about you being someone who brought Herman in? Because Herman's fairly new, but it seems like he would have a lot of crossover interests. Is that okay with you?
Yes, it sounds great to me. Yeah.
Great.
So I feel like I heard that you both were here, and that's kind of how I had your names.
Great.
I know him a bit, seen him around, bit artsy-fartsy, if you know what I mean.
Great. As you go in, you can see there's like kind of a main room that you're in with patients in various states of recovery. And there's some closed doors to your left. And Franny, you're behind there, and I'll catch up with you in a second. And to your right, you can see there's an open door, and you can see Dr. Vess and your cohort, Herman Wellspring, in that room, conferring with one another.
Oh, yes. Yes. And then very quietly, but quickly, I scuttle to Herman, the friendly face.
Oh.
Are you moving sideways?
Yeah, I love it.
Hello, Herman.
The game just gets so much creepier with sideways scuttling.
I think I don't notice at first because I'm just kind of like fixated, and I'm like, I agree, it is dead.
Dr. Vess just got finished telling you that he's going to perform an autopsy on this person, if you would like to observe. And he kind of looks up at the approach of Tertius. He's like, can I help you?
Yes, I am. There's a siren in the background, so excuse that. Yes.
It's close to a hospital. It happens all the time.
Hello, yes, I am Tertius Chambers. Tertius Chambers. Herman, hello.
I just almost start weeping. I'm just like, oh, good friend.
Pull yourself together, Herman.
And I'd say that, correct me if I'm wrong, Herman, but Herman came into this as quite the skeptic. He's was very skeptical, and he's sort of been swayed by the terrible things that he's seen. So this might be very unlike Herman behavior for you to see.
Okay.
Tertius, your drawings. Goodness. They're more real than I believed. I owe you an apology. And I just like gestured to these like cocoons of things. Like, your drawings, they are correct.
Yes, they always come around. Right, Franny?
Franny's in another room.
Never mind.
Convalescing. Sorry.
I'm screaming. Right, Franny?
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
What's that? Order up? Is it? Buy a pint?
I will pan over to Franny in a moment.
Yes. So, have you seen any of the things inside of these cocoons? Herman,
Yes.
I must see it once.
Have you ever gone hunting and cut open the belly of a beast on accident and had a bit more of another beast spill out, or some recognizable berries or such? It was akin to that. Goodness, I say, like, just adjusting my very tight collar.
I can't say that I have, but this is making me very excited. I must see at once.
Dr. Vest will escort you to the room where the remaining 5 cocoons are. It's back through that main room and then down a hallway and through some double doors. Before you go through, Dr. Vest, he warns you, as he warned your friends, about what you're going to see, and he crosses himself. And then when he opens the door, you find a smaller ward of beds, and there are cocoons in 4 of the beds, and then kind of on the wall above one of the beds, yeah, there it is another cocoon. There are these very gross, scabby, crusty cocoons. And I'm going to want you to make a sanity roll, Tertius, but since your friend Herman sort of described a bit, I'm going to give you a bonus die for that sanity roll.
Fantastic. All right. So, firstly, I rolled a 95 versus 70. Second is 64 versus 70 success.
Awesome. Okay. So you lose 1 sanity.
Got it.
That's what friends do, you know? Keep that sanity only lost a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you can see there's this terrible scene with these cocoons there. And now I will pan over to Franny, who's convalescing in a quiet room. This is a small room with 6 beds in it, and Franny is propped up in one of the beds. And on the other, against the other wall in the far left corner, there's an ancient-looking woman kind of just lying on her bed, kind of just staring at the ceiling. And you can just kind of hear her raspy breath as it goes in and out. And you, Franny, you are going to recover thanks to the efforts. You're going to recover 5 hit points.
Ooh, that's so many.
Since you are in a hospital, but you are kind of, you're obviously would be sore and kind of laid up, and you're just kind of in this very dim room with this very old woman who's just lying there staring up at the ceiling.
Where's my temporary insanity is gone?
Yes, yeah. Getting shot, I'm gonna say
Knocked it
shocked
out of
you
me.
back to reality.
Okay. So can I call out to this woman? Give her like a "Oi, bonjour."
Of course, yeah. There's kind of a sound like a door creaking as she's kind of like waking up, like, and she kind of like with great effort kind of elbows her way up to a sitting position and kind of peers at you through this dim light. She has like very stringy white hair, and she's kind of looking at you. She's like, bonjour. Finally, I have some company.
Oh, you speak English?
Oui.
How'd you know I speak English?
Oui. You were just yelling at me in English.
Oh, I mean, I did say bonjour, but perhaps you could read a little bit of an accent. You from around here?
She nods. She's like, we a farm, a farm not far from here.
What's the matter? Why are you here? Are you not feeling well?
She kind of gives you this like sad smile, and she like pats her like ribs. She's like, yes, I'm afraid I'm dying, my dear. That's what this room is for.
This room that I'm in is for dying.
Yes, it's
I think maybe sometimes, right? Maybe a bit some of the time. Not all.
she kind of like shrugs, like she's not sure either way.
Well, what? I'm so sorry to hear that. But, chin up. Might not happen. Have you noticed, you don't have what these in the next room have, do you?
She kind of arches an eyebrow like, what's that, dear?
The cocoons? You seen the cocoons?
No, I like a butterfly.
Wee, like a butterfly. Yeah, or a moth. Also, we'll do that.
Might.
They're butterfly cocoons here at the hospital. That's wonderful.
No, right, okay. How long have you been here, love?
What day is it? What year?
Well, it's 1872, and she reaches in her basket and pulls out her bag and pulls out some New Year's Eve glasses that say 1872. She's like, remember this?
They're made of like cast iron because it's 1872.
Does this ring a bell, love?
I've been here since November 1871.
Oh, that's an awfully long time. Have you gotten any better or any worse?
She gives you that same kind of rueful smile. She's like, no, but everyone is quite kind to me. Although they have kept me quite alone recently.
Oh, it's been a change. Did you used to have more people in here with you and not so much anymore?
But perhaps I was bothering them.
Why? What were you doing?
I could hear all the whispers, and I would ask them about the whispers, and I suppose it unsettled them.
What sort of whispers are we talking?
Come here, dear. Come over here and braid my hair, and I'll tell you.
All right, okay. Now, I'm a member of the Neptune Society. That sounds like the sort of thing where a snake jumps out of your throat and down mine. Come on. What are we doing here? Braid your hair? Oh, love. I'd love to. You seem like a lovely woman, but it's just too iffy, isn't it? How about I come over here and I pat your feet? Can I do that?
She kind of nods. This is a good consolation prize for her.
Right, okay.
I'm sorry. Snake jumps down your throat into mine.
We gotta have a side game of the past adventures of Franny Chump, because I need to know these situations that have formed her reality.
Does it sound like it's that out of line? Does it really? Come on. She goes over and she sits on the end of this old woman's bed and is just sort of like patting her feet.
Yeah, they're just like bones. Like through the hospital blanket, it's just like bones, her feet. And she's like, she kind of cocks her head and she's like, listen, dear, maybe you will hear them too. And she like holds like a crooked finger to her mouth for silence. And if you'd like, you can give me a listen roll.
Yeah, I'll give you a listen roll.
It's a hard listen roll.
A hard listen roll, because I got pretty good listen skills. Woo! My listen's at 70, and I just got a 22. So
nice, Franny with those ears. Franny with those ears. In the silence of the room, at first all you could hear is like the distant buzzing of flies. But then as you're listening and you're kind of patting this woman's just bony skeletal feet through the blanket, you do hear voices. You hear whispering voices in the room, like, and I'm going to need you to make another sanity roll. I apologize, having just recovered from going temporarily insane.
That's all right. I've had a weekend before. Oh, what's that? There we go. 64.
What is your sanity?
49.
Oh wow. All right. You are going to lose 4 sanity, but you don't go temporarily insane, so that's good. And now I'm going to pan
permanently that much less sane.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, it grinds you down. Investigating the supernatural. Now we will pan back over to Herman and Tertius. Perhaps in this time, maybe Tertius has even sketched some of these cocoons.
Tertius, I must ask you. You are a dear friend of mine, and I trust you with my whole heart. You have amazing moral fortitude as far as I see the world, and you've always led me down the right path, but I have seen things here that I will never be able to explain to myself or anyone else, and how it seems that you already know of these things. Is that correct?
Well, I need a cigarette immediately.
Dr. Vest takes a tin of tobacco out of his pocket, and he just expertly rolls you kind of an uneven, crooked cigarette and hands it to you and lights it with the match.
Thank you, doctor. A cigarette a day keeps the doctor away.
Yes.
So take a slow drag.
He chuckles a little too darkly at that one.
Yes, the Cthulhu.
No, it's
horror of the
1872.
tobacco
He has no
industry.
idea. He thinks the saying is 100% correct.
Yeah. So have I actually seen? So the one in the flesh that was cracked open last time. Have I seen that?
Oh, I don't think they took you there, but Dr. Vest is about to perform an autopsy on it if you would like to see it.
I would. So I'll turn to Dr. Vest. Excuse me, doctor. I would like to see this thing. I must document it down and draw it, and so that I can, I don't know, assist my companions in this matter the best that I can. It's what I do.
Tertius will know what to do. Herman says that.
He's like just finished lighting his own cigarette, and he's like, I will perform an autopsy. You may accompany me, and your friend Herman, you may witness as well if you will keep your rifle away.
Why? Why would I? Why? I must keep my gun in case it yes.
If you could refrain from shooting her before I can ascertain what might be happening.
Okay, but if Tertius tells me to shoot it, I'm going to shoot it.
Perhaps it won't get that far, but doctor, just give me one more moment. As Tertius turns and looks at these cocoons, are there different levels of development within these things? Like, are some of the insides bigger than others that I could tell from looking?
That is a great question. Why don't you give me? I don't know. You could tell me what skill you'd like. I could see a spot hidden or a natural world, possibly. Although this is pretty unnatural. So, let's just go with spot hidden.
Cool. Do spot hidden. He has a trained artist's eye. Okay, I rolled 70 against 70. Success.
Oh, okay. They all are quite large, but there are 3 of them, which definitely seem even a bit more kind of distended and large. But not by much. You can just perceive it. It is not. It was not noticeable at first glance, while you were maybe sketching them. But when you really take a close eye, it looks like there are 3 that might be a little bit farther along.
So then I walk back to the doctor. Doctor, Harlan must keep the gun. Oh, Herman, not Harlan.
Hey.
Harlan's is
both are cool
playing
names.
Herman.
Yeah.
Herman must keep his gun.
Dr. Vest shrugs and he's like, All right. Well, let's go get this unpleasant business over with.
We.
Great. He will walk with you all over to the room where the body is lying under a sheet, and now I'll pan back over to Franny, who's sitting there, and you're just kind of being bombarded with whispers, but you don't recognize any of the languages.
What is that? None of it's coming through. Did you let the dog get on the couch behind you?
This old woman kind of smiles. She can tell that you can hear them because of your like sudden kind of silence and reaction. She's like, yes, dear. From the floor. They come from the floor.
What? From the floor. Can I get down on the floor and listen, see if I can hear it better down there?
Of course. Yeah, when you get down to the floor, it does seem a little clearer. Again, you don't recognize any of the languages. It's like a babble, but there is like just a hiss of whispering from beneath the floor.
It sounds all foreign to me. Does it sound like a language you know?
No, dear. I've never understood a word.
But you said you told people you were hearing it and they got upset with you.
Yeah, they said I was making it up.
Well, I can tell you're not making it up. Did anyone else ever lean down and listen like this? Who did you tell this to?
I told the doctor and Gabrielle, the nurse. She's quite kind. She tried to listen, but she said she could not hear anything.
Huh. Right. Okay. Well, I can hear it. Who was in here before? Who moved?
She's kind of thinking. Let's see if she can remember.
And were these whispers always here as long as you've been here? Or did they start sometime along the way?
I first heard them after being here a few weeks, but they seem to be more and more as time has gone on.
So it's always been here to a degree. Do you know anything about the history of this place and Saint Etienne?
Oh, Saint Etienne, the saint of Pouillon?
Sure, yeah.
I know he was. This place used to be a monastery, and he tried to save his brothers from a fire.
Right, yeah, that's what I've heard before. Love, you've been very helpful. I love talking with you. It's been wonderful. I think you're in lovely spirits. I think you're going to make a recovery. I'm going to pop out, see what I can find downstairs. There is a downstairs, isn't there?
It's all ground floor.
Sure it is. So I'm going to poke around just a bit, love, and I'll come back. I won't tell anybody what you told me, and you don't tell anybody what I told you.
Wait. And then she starts coughing, and her body's just sort of racked by these terrible wet coughs.
Right, and Franny leaves the room going, ugh.
Cool, Franny. If you'd like, you could rejoin your fellow Neptune Society members.
Okay.
Unless you had somewhere else you wanted to go.
Well, I mean, I'd like to poke around to see if there's some sort of downstairs, despite they're not having a downstairs, but graves, whatever's under the floor, making whispers in a foreign language.
Okay. Yeah, you can give me a. I mean, you could just walk around. You don't have to give me any roll. You can just walk around and look around, and we'll come back to you. You've already been given a tour of the hospital, and as the tour as you know it, this is a single level building. But you can walk around, and we'll come back to you.
Nah, you know what? I'd rather join them. Can I do that? Can I just do that? But keep an eye out.
Great. Yeah. Great. So we'll come back to the room where Dr. Vest is performing this autopsy, and he's just sort of like horrified He frequently takes breaks to kind of recover and smoke, but he's kind of opened up the whole chest cavity and has it like spread. And he's sort of in amazement. He's like, I do not understand this woman. Her whole digestion system is gone. But look at the stomach. And he like pulls out kind of like a very large stomach with like both hands. And he's like, there should be the intestines and such gone, but this massive stomach, but nothing. And he kind of like shows you that it's kind of like a dead end.
A dead
The stomach, it doesn't like connect to intestines or anything. It's just like a
So
big
they weren't pooping.
bag.
It was now. It's just,
Defecation.
That would be the takeaway. Yes, Frank.
Horrific.
even a baby poops.
Can I use my knowledge of anatomy as one of my science skills to see if I know of any sort of creatures that would have a similar anatomy, or if I can see where this would be going potentially?
Totally. Yeah. You can give me that roll.
Do you think maybe it makes like a roundabout in the stomach where you've got to go back up where you... Never mind.
Failure. Failure.
Okay. Yeah, this is something that you have not seen before and you have no frame of reference for. It is very peculiar that like it would just open into this especially large stomach that doesn't connect to anything.
We should cut it open.
Dr. Vess nods and kind of almost with an unsteady hand, he cuts it open with the scalpel and he kind of like pulls it open and kind of shows you, and he's like, is empty.
What is empty? There's nothing in there.
But Charlotte, she was lying there for days without eating, comatose. So I would expect this was empty.
Yes, but have you been to the pub recently? The inn? They're eating like crazy.
Did she take a big one right before she became a cocoon?
Take a big meal in her room?
Yes.
Oh,
A
excuse me.
big one? Big one?
Never mind.
Dr. Vess does seem concerned, Herman, that you mentioned that people are eating a lot down at the restaurant.
Distended stomach, yes.
Hmm.
It would make sense. They're gorging themselves down there. It is horrific.
And it wasn't very good. We had the chips and it was like so-so. I said it was nice, but it wasn't really.
Oh.
But, you know.
And you both feel okay right now?
I did not eat the chips, Tertius.
Oh,
I mean,
yes.
honestly, I felt better. You know, I was in a bit of a coma. Not quite. It's kind of crazy. But I'm doing much better now than I was a few minutes ago.
That's good to know, Franny. Yes. Interesting.
So,
Do you have anything in your drawings, Tertius, to give us insight into what could cause this madness of shoving oneself full of mediocre food?
Well, and I turn around the drawing, and it's as best as Tertius could do. That's just pretty much a copy of what they've seen so far. But he's already begun to do lots of shading that he will replace with colors in the future, hopefully, if he survives. But he's studying this, and again, this is something that he has not seen before. But he's looking at this dissection for any other signs of it not being normal besides the stomach.
The whole face is kind of like malformed, like it's like missing bone on the front of a skull, and the flesh around it is almost like translucent. And as I mentioned before, like the jaw is underformed, and there aren't any proper teeth. which is why I wasn't able to bite Franny.
Right.
And the eyes are kind of just these dark little pits that are just kind of like sunken deep down in the muck of this face.
But Andrew, the from the doctor's description, these bodies that we're seeing inside of there match the the general look of the people that were there before, right? It doesn't seem like a new body is forming. It seems like the past body is decaying, right?
Oh, I mean, this was apparently a woman named Charlotte. But if you were to ask Dr. Vest that, he's cannot recognize her as Charlotte.
Yeah, interesting fact. If you cut open a cocoon, it's a caterpillar. It's becoming a butterfly. You cut it open. It's not a caterpillar growing wings. It's just all goop. It's just all just a soupy goop. Like the caterpillar becomes nothing, and then all those nothing bits come back together, and they make the butterfly. So it might be something like that. That's real science.
Yes, well, I was inspecting the cocoons, and some it seems to be growing. Some are larger than others. So perhaps there is some sort of butterfly transformation going on, as you mentioned, Franny. Can
I grab you lads just for a sec, just for a titch?
Yes.
The other thing that Dr. Vest will comment on is that the flesh on this corpse seems to be particularly thick. He's kind of like showing it to you where he's like cut it, and it seems like significantly thicker than
what is it like human flesh? Is it like
it is, but it's like as he points out, it was tougher to cut through than
it's deep dish human flesh.
Yeah, exactly. Chicago style human flesh. The
casserole.
The skin is thicker, as if it's kind of like been reinforced by extra layers.
Yuck. Okay.
That's what did it for you? Okay. All right.
Right. Okay. So can I bend your ear just a bit, just for my friends? Woman problems. They know what's happening with me husband. I say that to the doctor to try to get the two of them away.
Well, yes, I have studied a recent novel about women's physical dispositions. Yes.
Right. Yes. Thank you. So I'd like to pull the two of them away from the doctor.
A period piece? Is that what it is, Herman? Okay. All right.
And speak to them privately. Right. So I was just in the another room with a patient who's been here apparently almost a year now, and she's been hearing weird whispers, which I took a listen for. I heard them too. They're coming from down there. The closer I got to the floor, fellas, you're welcome to try it yourself. The closer I got to the floor, the more I heard it. There's something happening down there. I don't know if it's... Now, we know there's no other floor we've been told of. It's either some secret basement or just graves where the people who burned down were just left in there making their weird little whispers.
Yes. The abbeys. This place used to be built upon a monastery.
I thought you were talking about Abby. Okay, right, yeah.
No, not yes.
She's very nice.
A kind
Lovely
woman
girl.
amongst the Neptune Society. Absolutely. Yeah. We can all agree on that. But often have catacombs. Yes, they often have spaces deep down beneath them for.
I don't like cats.
Buried. No. Well, you're in luck, as these are usually full of the remains of human beings and not any feline creatures. Yes,
okay, right, yeah, okay.
I wonder if there are more of these things down there.
Well, there could be bones down there. We do know that Christian found a bone, so maybe it remains.
Bones!
Yes.
I don't have any drawings of bones. Great! We must go.
We might just be able to get you some. Franny, can you point me in the direction of this decrepit woman?
Okay, but I told her I wouldn't tell anyone what she said, so she wouldn't tell anyone what I said. So keep it on your hat.
I adjust my very large hat and I say, happy to do it.
Yeah, you can hide plenty into there, I suppose. And I point to the room that she was in.
Can I go talk to her real quick?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, when you walk in, it is kind of dim. It takes a moment for your eyes to adjust, and there in the far corner, you can see almost imperceptible. The frame is so slight. The body of this old woman lying on her back, and you can just kind of hear a bit of rattling of her breath.
I think before anything else, Herman's had quite the shock. Is she real?
Yeah, she's real. I was like, oh, should I make a roll to make it? Yeah, you see her.
That's fine.
Yeah, you see her. You see her, and you can hear her breathing. It sounds like she's asleep by the cycle of her breath.
I clear my voice very loud. To try and wake her up, try and get her attention.
Yeah, after a moment, the rattling of the breath kind of like changes and clatters together as she wakes up and kind of tilts her head and takes you in, standing there in the dusky light by the doorway as the sun is setting now, as it is it's getting late in the day, and she's kind of peers you. She's like, "Oh, bonjour! That is a most marvelous hat you have."
Thank you. I keep it very on, but tip it. And I switched to French, which I can't do. Harlan can't do, but Herman
Me
can.
neither. So thank you.
But and I'm like kind of like trying to be polite. I introduce myself, and I'm like of the the book binding business, and kind of like read off some of my accolades, and that aren't too much. And
are you here to sell me something?
not quite, ma'am. In fact, it is your services that I need. You are an experienced woman, kind of who has seen this town for many generations. Don't do it, Eliza. You just get out of here. You're not in this scene.
Where are we going with this? Ooh,
I felt it come out of my mouth, and I was like, "Oh no, Eliza's going to jump on this." But I want to ask her, like, do you know a lot about the history of this town?
Then she kind of shrugs. She's like, I spend most of my life on a farm, so I only hear the bits that come to my farm.
But the bits, madam, are where the goodness lies. I'm being as weird as I see it. Like Herman is being as weird. And he's like, tell me, what do you know about this world? What is wrong here? Please, ma'am, tell us.
Here in this hospital?
Yes. The bodies are changing. The people are hungry. What? There are people.
Did you say that? Did you say that much?
No, I think I just. Why the hell not? I did. I think Herman is losing it a little bit, and he just slipped in this, but he did not quite get it.
She kind of like squints and catches that, despite her advanced age. She's still pretty sharp. She's like, voices.
Whispers amongst town, people, rumors, falsities. The people are disgusting. They have no moral fiber. What is wrong? Where's the decay?
Give me a fast talk if you like.
Oh boy, yeah.
To try to talk your way out of this, you'd better roll amazing.
I'm not good at it
because she did.
I got a 55.
Yeah, she's like, she can kind of put the pieces together. There was this woman who she didn't know in a room that she told about this, and now this stranger with a very large hat comes in babbling. She's like, you've come to talk to me about the voices? To ridicule me?
No, ma'am. I come to know where the bodies are buried. I wish to dig them up.
Oh, I don't know about bodies. But if you listen, you might hear the whispers. Come over here. Rub my feet like your friend was doing.
Are you sure you don't want me to braid your hair? I'd be happy to. No.
If you accomplished that, we braid my hair.
I'm quite the braider. Yeah, absolutely. He will go over and like rub her feet and listen for the whispers.
Great. Give me a hard listen roll.
Oh boy.
I thought you were going to
Good
say
luck,
foot rub
buddy.
roll.
Hope you like eating snakes.
I don't know if I want to succeed or fail, but I got a 19 and my listen skill is 20%. So
Ooh.
that was either really good or really bad.
But you needed a hard one, unfortunately. You
Oh,
said you
okay.
got a 19?
Yeah.
I mean, you could use luck. I don't think you even have enough luck to make that happen.
No, I didn't. I had
unfortunately.
very, very little luck. Yeah.
Yeah, you strain to listen, and all you can hear is the buzzing of flies.
I kind of like, I kind of like press her a little bit more if she's not really. Herman's really looking for like, he thinks he knows the story, but he's looking for like anything he kind of like missed in the story that is left out, and is specifically kind of like tone deaf to anyone.
She seems to know the story like the folks down in the bistro knows the
he does.
story. She's it's kind of just like a folk tale. She doesn't. She just knows him as the saint of Puyan, and that as the story goes, he tried to save his brothers from burning in a fire in the monastery that used to lie here.
Cool. He'll kind of like good day her very quickly then and get out
Great.
of there. Yeah. No answers for him there.
Cool. Great. What would you like to do next?
I'm gonna join back with the party and kind of look at them and be like, that well is dry.
Hmm.
Well, that's a bit of a rude way of putting it, but yeah, she's like a nice lady, though.
Nope.
Oh. Is that what they're calling it?
Oh my god!
Oh.
my god!
Herman looks away as quickly as he possibly can. He's like, oh, no. Goodness.
Right,
Churches
so
just chuckles.
I don't. So clearly, this place is haunted. There's something. There's bad spirits here. I think we all can agree with that.
Flies too.
Sure, but I'm not sure that what it has to do with these hungry cocoon people. And she's also picking at her wound, just like, and smelling it a little bit.
Oh god, Franny! Yeah.
Yes. Oh, wait. You have your wound there.
Yeah.
What's that from? What happened?
I shot her.
Yeah.
You shot her?
I did. It was an accident. I was trying to shoot the cocoon
I was a bit
woman.
mad too.
Yes.
I'll hold up to my part of it.
That is so sad. May I draw it?
Sure. Yeah. All right.
Yes. And also, is the doctor still around at all?
He's in the room with the body where you all left him. He was continuing the autopsy, but as you had left the room, Herman, Gabrielle was talking to a patient in this room and saw you exit, and she kind of walks by, checking on you all. And she's like, "Was Josephine bothering you?"
No.
Okay, good. She needs her rest.
Poor dear. I'm there too, right?
Yeah.
Poor
she comes
dear.
by.
What's wrong with her? She seemed like such a lovely lady.
She's her lungs are dying.
Lungs. That's very hard. Yeah. She's been here quite a while though, and she's not getting better.
No, she's dying. So we take care of her as best we can.
Do you like working here?
Gabriel kind of is pondering this because up until like today, she probably would have had a different answer, and now she's like really considering it. She's like, I like helping people when I can.
Sure, yeah. It seems a bit weird, though, isn't it? A bit weird up here.
Not until this past week. Before then, it was just. She kind of points to the patients in this main room who seem like laid up with pretty common maladies. You know, they have like bandaged heads and broken limbs and things of that nature.
We noticed when we were down in the town, the village, that people were eating quite a bit, ravenous. What a hunger. Have you noticed any of that up here? Any of the patients around here just can't get enough of the old hospital food?
She kind of thinks, she's like, no, there's no more than usual.
What would when people come in here and they begin to cocoon? What is the first symptom that they complain of?
The rash. They came because of the rash. Terrible. Head to toe, rash and itching. Very hungry. They would eat for this rash, and then just horrible fever, uncontrollable fever, and the rash would become the sores on their body, and those sores were what leaked and became these cocoons. But this terrible red rash.
And I know you said this to us before, but my friend has just arrived, and he's quite the artist, and so I remember. But you should say it to him. Is there anyone here who is showing those symptoms but is not yet cocooned?
No, not that I've seen. No one has the rash here.
This hunter fellow who had the first case of it,
Oui, Christian?
Yeah, Christian, yeah. Is there any record of what he saw or encountered, the animal or vegetable, whatever, that he saw before this started for him?
No, he's like I said, he was talking about finding a bone. He kept talking about a bone. But he did not have a bone with him. But he's talking about a bone in the forest.
Right.
And what happened to Christian?
Christian was the first patient.
Patient 0.
She kind of gestures to the room with the cocoons, and she's like, "In that room."
Have you thought of writing their names on the cocoon so you can tell them which is which?
Is he still in there though? Is he still?
I've every patient has a card next to their bed that I have filled out for them.
Okay. Great.
Is there Herman wants to ask her if there's any, not you. Herman wants to ask her if there's any sort of like library in the town, and I don't want to like shove the game in that direction, but he wants so badly to know about more records of what happened here and any like stories around that, or if there's any kind of like tales or anything. So
there's not a library of sorts, but there is a church, and Gabrielle reckons that they might have records.
Okay.
Franny would like to know if there are any unused closets, stairways, mysterious doors, anything like that. Like if a girl needed a little bit of time on her own with these fellas around, a place that I could hide, maybe find a secret door.
Gabriel does not know of any secret doors. She'll show you any of the closets you want.
You know what I mean, Gabriel. You know.
But
do you know where the oldest part of this hospital is? As a bit of a history buff.
She's like, this all built together. I cannot say which room is the oldest.
Is there a closet in the dining room?
There is there's a small closet in there for like towels and bedding.
Oh, good.
She's when you take this line of questioning, she's like, there is a funny step. I will show you.
Okay.
And to answer your question, Herman, yes, there's Herman's gone. Yeah, I told him about the church. Yeah, Gabrielle will take you into the room where Josephine is lying, and she's once again fallen asleep. And she will kind of walk through the room, and kind of she's looking for a spot clearly, and she'll kind of like back up and walk in. Then she taps with her toe, and she's like, "Wait, listen, it's how do you say hollow, like perhaps a bubble in the plaster of the floor." And you can hear that kind of differentiating sound as well, just where she's tapping with her foot.
That is strange, isn't it? I'm not. And she starts fingering her wound again. She's like, "I'm not feeling so well. Is it all right if I stay in here?"
Gabrielle kind of like gently like pats your hand away. She's like, "No, madame, don't pick at it. Oh no. Just leave it be.
Is it all right if I stay in here and just have a bit more of a rest? I think maybe I got up too early.
Oui.
Thank you, Gabrielle. You're an angel. Do you get what?
Merci. And she leaves.
All right.
So,
then Franny takes out her large knife and immediately starts trying to pry up floorboards.
Okay, great. Yeah, the floor is like covered with some plaster, so you can kind of dig your way in. And Tertius, did you follow her in here, or what would you like to do?
Are you muted?
Hello. Yes. Hello there. So I'm looking around for any sort of lone scalpel that I can purloin, just in case we make it down to any dangerous areas. Do I see anything like that?
I don't think you would find a scalpel, but in the main room, where you walked in the lobby, there's a spade, there's a shovel with like a wooden handle, that seems untended, just sitting there.
Am I able to just grab that uncontested?
Yeah.
Great.
The man who was in there before is not there currently.
Cool. So I have that. I am making my way to try to find Franny, who just left. But I would like to assist in this effort to get somewhere.
Okay, great.
While she's gone, is this church far away? Can I pop in? Like, do you want to do that scene, or can I just kind of?
Totally, we can totally do these two scenes. I'd love it if Herman wanted to go visit the church for records. That's 100% cool.
Okay, cool. I want to like kind of check in with Tertius. Like, yes, I'm gonna research, and you're gonna. I see the shovel and like.
Yes.
Maraud? Yes. Yeah.
Yes, you can say that I am going to maraud. I guess. Yes, we're going to get to the bottom of this quite literally.
Great. So yeah, and I won't make you both roll because what you're doing is something that anyone can do. You're kind of cutting and chipping away at the plaster floor and the boards beneath, which will take some time. And in that time, Herman can walk down the road to Puyan and visit this church. So I will follow Herman as he goes down the road. The sun is just like a kind of a pale pink glow on the horizon, and you can hear the sound of all of the night insects coming out. And there's a generous moon overhead that kind of lights your way down this path. That's almost peaceful, and it certainly has mercifully cooled down a bit as you make your way down into the town, and through that the thoroughfare. As you walk through the town of Puyan, you walk by that bistro, which is still packed with people. There are people in there. You can hear them eating. You can hear them like shouting for servers' attention and things like that. It looks
you can hear
just
them
like
eating from outside.
the scene. Well, the clinking of dishes and stuff, and there's a patio. Yeah, as you're walking by, yeah, you can hear that it's a lively restaurant.
Yeah,
as you
so,
walk by.
It's a lot of exposition for me. I just realized I split the party in this exposition. I was like, oh boy, okay, I'm alone. Great, let's do it.
I am a hardcore party splitter. I believe in it, so I'm glad you did it. Suddenly, you're a grat. No, just kidding. You find the church almost at the end of town. It's a very small, modest building, and like most churches you would expect, the door it opens as you. If you were to push or pull on it.
Do you want to roll to know if I push or pull?
No, I'm just like, I'm not like shoving you inside the church. I'm just
you can. I mean, Herman is holding on to the idea that this is a sanctuary, that he is, I know Harlan, I think churches are spooky, but Herman thinks this is a sanctuary and is like relieved to be able to kind of like engage and study rather than be poking around cocoons with a gun. So yeah, take me in there, coach.
Okay, great. When you go in, it's quite dark inside. There's just some very small candles kind of flickering. You can see the altar on the far end and the kind of the glint of the crucifix behind the altar. And you can go ahead and give me a listen roll as you're standing there, as your eyes are adjusting to the light.
Cool. I got a 16, and I think that's going to do it. I just lost my character sheet.
Yes, that will do it. Cool. You can hear noise from one of the back rooms. You can hear, it just sounds like there's someone in here.
Oh, hello? Hello, Father? Reverend?
There is no reply, but you can definitely hear some sounds of movement coming from that back room.
Oh, I'm just gonna go there. I'm, kind of like being loud, knocking around a bit. Is there, there's like an altar. This like looks like a normal church to.
Yeah, now that your eyes have adjusted, yeah, this looks like a perfectly normal rural church. There's no Baphomet head over the altar. There's nothing like that. Cool. It seems like a normal church, but there's this doorway to the rear of the building that you can go through on the right. And as you walk through, you can see there's kind of like a narrow room with some doors that lead off to it. And there's a light coming from the closest door to you.
No, hello. I'm just
and
kind
you
of
can hear sound inside like.
Sorry.
Okay, I mean that they're not. I succeeded on my roll, and those are spooky noises, right? Like Herman, kind of like in this moment of comfort, is like, "What the hell's going on here?"
They're disquieting noises, but you did succeed on the roll. It sounds like someone eating.
Okay. But Andrew, does it sound like spooky eating, or does it sound like normal eating?
It's quite dark. It's quite dark in the hallway. Herman would not be familiar with the term splitting the party, but he is acutely aware of how alone he might be. Okay. Did you bring your 22 rifle with you?
Absolutely. I mean, like, I think that like Herman's just clinging to it right now for every reason. Okay, cool. I just didn't want to, okay. So I'm going to try and sneakily peek into this room.
Okay. I'm not going to make you roll for the stealth because it doesn't matter. You can come to the door of this room and look in, and whether you're quiet or not, the figure inside does not turn around. You can see in the flickering candle, there is a heavyset man in a wooden chair kind of hunched over a table. You can tell by the collar of his garment that he's a priest, and he has gray hair, and you can just kind of hear the sounds of him eating, and you can see that he's eating with his hands.
Cool. There's a lot of things Herman isn't, but he is a smart man. So I think he's gonna put together that I saw that, Eliza. Don't you? Come on. So he's going to kind of like put together the people in the tavern being overcome, all of these things, and just like walk away from the situation and just try and find any books or records like in any back room, but that is
Cool.
besides here.
There's another door beyond where you are. If you wanted to keep looking,
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
great. Give me a stealth roll now.
Okay.
And
That is
you have 20%.
All right. I got a 50. I failed.
Yeah. So as you walk, a very loose floorboard squeals and gives you away. And there's a momentarily you hear the sounds of eating stop as the priest like turns and looks at you, and in the flickering candlelight you could see his face is just like a constellation of a bright red rash, and he's got like bones kind of sticking out of his mouth that he's like gnawing on and like suckling on, and he sees you and doesn't like greet you or say anything. He just turns back around and resumes eating.
Okay.
And now, yeah, you can just continue on. And in the next room, there are the records of the church, and you can go ahead and give me a library use roll, which is your forte.
Yes. I couldn't walk away from this having a 70 here, so watch me fail. I got an 83. Mother.
Oh my gosh. You can push.
Yeah.
If you push your roll and fail, you might become more acutely aware of how alone you are.
Okay. So what do I have to do to push? I have to spend.
You just roll again.
Okay. I don't spend anything though.
No,
I don't do.
You're
okay.
just gambling with a negative consequence.
Cool. I got a 17. Look at that.
There it is.
There
Woo!
There we go.
There's that hard success.
That's a hard success.
Yeah, you find you can kind of sift through the records. There's a record of a fire at the monastery. There is a record of Saint Etienne helping out his brothers in the fire, although all of them are believed to have perished. There is a map of the abbey, like a blueprint, and it's not signed by an artist, but in the corner there's a drawing of a kind of an odd 7-pointed star. But you could see on this blueprint that there is a kind of a lower room in the blueprint.
Okay, cool. If Herman at this point knows that he's got to get this to Tertius, and then he'll kind of like know what to do with this, and I'm spooked now, and I'm just going to run back to
and the final note of interest is that in the year 1797, 2 women came to this church and spoke with the priest at length about Saint Etienne and the sort of on his heroic deeds. They were like researching his life, is what the priest was led to believe, and they sort of were kind of telling Saint Etienne's story and how heroic he was.
So, but Herman knows the real story. Like Herman somehow knows there's another story here.
Yes, Herman had read in a much lesser known text that suggested that Saint Etienne had started the fire.
So can I roll to like get something out? Like what is the discrepancy? Does it seem like they lied? Did they retell this story in a way? Like, when you have like thing A and thing B, and you know that thing A is true, like what contrast am I seeing that is like the thing that is hidden?
Since you don't know the identity of the women who came to speak with the priest and were kind of talking about Saint Etienne being a hero, I will say again, you absolutely trust the veracity of the account that you read. You believe, even reading all this, that Saint Etienne started the fire in the monastery, given the authority in the book that you got your information from. It would seem like people are either purposefully trafficking false information in order to change his narrative, or there is a missing piece of the puzzle that you don't understand.
QAnon.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I mean, I think
QAnon. Cool.
I
So
think
you're gonna head back.
I'm spooked. Yeah, I'm spooked at this
Great.
point.
As
so,
you're heading
yeah.
back through town, there's quite a commotion at the bistro, and you can see people are like fighting and arguing. And Hugo, the proprietor, is trying to like quell the violence and the calamity because apparently they have run out of food, and he's like waiting on more meat to be delivered, and it's like quite a scene. And you kind of just take this in as you're hurrying, but you can see it's kind of like boiling over. And now we will pan back over to Franny and Tertius, who have been working up a sweat, getting through this floor. And after you've cracked the plaster and split the floorboards up and kind of cleared away this hole, you find there's a wooden hatch with a recessed iron pull ring there in the floor underneath those floorboards. And Josephine has been watching you do this for like the better part of the effort, which is kind of a small, like, bemused smile on her face.
All right, so I'll turn back to her and be like, "Do you see this, love? It's a door. Do you see this?"
She's like, "Yes, maybe you'll find what's doing all of this whispering."
Yeah, maybe I will.
Yes.
Sorry they were all cruel to you about that. I want to. Can I run over to Josephine and just real quick do like a quick braid?
Yes, I love it.
Snake mouth.
I keep my mouth closed.
Yeah. No, she's very appreciative. She's just got one kind of sloppy fifth grade Franny braid going on the side of her hair.
All
cool. All right.
And then let's open up this door.
Great.
I come bursting into the room like, there's a door, I think.
Are you gonna help us or not, Herman?
Yeah, you've got the blueprints with you.
Herman, you're unbuttoned like down to your ear now. What is this?
It cooled off a bit, and I wanted to get a breeze.
It's almost pornographic. Now help us open this door.
Muddy papers have quite the circulation. I am not one to shame.
Oh, so much skin as I draw this little doodle of Herman in my sketchbook.
Yes, I love it. Monsters and Herman's pinups. Nice.
We started off buttoned up to here, you know.
Yes, nice.
This is his character progression.
We'll need that art ASAP. Herman with the large hat, but unbuttoned. All 5 layers of clothing opened like some kind of flower.
Heaving.
Yeah. Okay. Are you opening this door?
Yeah.
Great. When you open it, there's a creak, and like right away, like a cold kind of decrepit air wafts out, and it is pitch black beyond.
Oh, it smells like Josephine down here.
She's like pulling the braid out of her hair that you just did.
All right. What do we see?
It's pitch black. You see that.
I
don't know if any of you
do I have
torches.
Do I have dark vision? Do I have dark vision?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's you don't have that trait. Harlan has a small lantern. There are also candles in this room at like each night table.
I do have a flask of Scotch whiskey, so I will take a hit of that.
I'll pull up that. Great.
Increase your vision.
And let me see what Tertius has. But you can make light. I love that Tertius has a sketchbook and cigarettes. I love this character. I love it. A true artist. He just hopped.
Yeah, I'm just shocked he doesn't have Waffle House coffee.
Yeah.
I love Waffle House coffee. I'm just like, what Waffle House?
I mean, that's all the artists I knew in college. It was cigarettes, drawing, and Waffle House coffee. Anyway, keep going.
Anyone that would like a light source?
Yeah,
there's one available.
Great.
I'll put it that way.
Are you sure you don't want to talk about the artist Eliza knew in college for a while?
Hey, I'm adding flair.
No. So yeah, I'm gonna grab a lantern, and Herman kind of looking on. He's like, "This is the point in the Parisian daily newspaper stories that I read, where cowards run and the brave ones stay, and I'm staying." So I kind of take my lantern and kind of dip down into this hole.
You're just putting the lantern into the hole.
Oh no, I'm going. If there's a, can you walk down or
Josephine
when you
is
put the lantern
set-
on, you can
oh,
see
right,
that you
okay.
can hop down inside. It looks like it's probably only about 6 feet to the floor. So yeah, you can just kind of lower yourself in.
I'll go down there.
And the last bit of Herman's clinging to reality is this will be okay. I can kill something with a gun if I need to. So he's going in.
Cool. Yeah, it's once you're down there, it's just rough sort of natural clay walls. It's definitely claustrophobic, and that this corridor is probably about 6 feet high by maybe 8 feet wide as you're walking along. And you can see that in the clay walls, there is a language scrawled all over it, and it is a language that you don't recognize. It seems to be runic in nature, and it's just sort of haphazardly it's haphazardly kind of scrawled all over the walls here.
Freddie, I'm impressed with your knowledge of Norse mythology.
Hey, don't hang out with the Neptune Society as long as I have without picking up a few things about runes.
And now that you're all down in, did you jump down too, Tertius?
Yes, I'm also down there. Am I able to? Are there any sort of occult properties with these runes?
Now that you're all down in here, you can hear the whispering without any listen roll. It's as if the walls themselves are whispering. So, Herman and Tertius, I need you to give me a sanity roll. Franny, you don't, because you've already heard this.
You're hearing it now, right? You're hearing it. Just
Okay, and I want to get under my intelligence.
No, you want to get under your sanity, which has been steadily going down, but it's right there on your sheet.
Great. Well, I got a 9, so I'm in good shape.
Nice. So you lose 1 sanity. And
My
how about Tertius?
My sanity is 69.
I'm sorry.
But I succeeded with a 66.
Someone
Awesome.
please explain that to me later. I didn't
So
get it.
you will also lose 1 sanity, Tertius, as it's very unnerving, but you are able to keep it together.
Okay.
And as you walk probably about 25 feet down this narrow pathway, and it opens up into a kind of a small it was probably supposed to be a circular room, but it's a bit irregular in shape, and in the center of which there is a stone altar with a brazier on top, kind of a wide iron brazier.
What is it?
It's like something you'd build a fire in.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's just sitting in the center of this low room. And anyone who wants to can give me a spot hidden roll as you walk in and take in this room.
Will do.
I'll do it. Can more than one of us do it?
Anyone who wants to.
Can while they're doing that, does it seem like I could build with the lantern I have, build a larger fire in this fire pit of sorts to light up more of the room?
Yes, there are some kind of strips of wood as if they'd been chopped for this purpose. You can create a fire in that brazier if you want. There's also sconces intermittently in the hallway that you could put a candle if you wanted as well.
Yeah, so I've got my lantern, so I want to light as many things as I can, basically. Anything I can light to be a separate torch and not let go of my lantern. I would like to.
Are you lighting the wood in the brazier?
Yes.
Cool. Yeah, and there's, like I said, there were candles up in the room, so if you want to put some candles in the sconces, but when you light the wood in the brazier, the fire it seems to flicker, and it's brightly blue. It seems it seems unusual. And what did you get on your spot hidden rolls?
Oh, I fully lost. I got like an 88.
Okay. How about you,
Same here.
Tertius?
A failure. Yeah, 97.
Okay. Herman, you have lit up the room. You can give me a spot hidden roll, and I'm going to give you a bonus die for illuminating your situation. The room is considerably brighter as you can now look around.
Cool. So I rolled the 2 D100 twice.
You roll the 10s twice, and you take the better result.
Okay, I see. Cool. Ooh, I got a 17.
Nice.
Ooh.
Great.
Yeah.
So as you're looking around amidst the scrabbled runes on the walls, you're able to find a small little kind of section that's kind of dug out, and there's like a box in it, like a wooden box about that high, about 1.5 feet wide, that you can extricate.
That's great. I absolutely do it. So I got distracted because chat said Herman always lights up the room, and that just really made me
Nice.
giggle.
Very cute.
Yeah,
Sweet.
absolutely. I'm gonna grab this box if I can. I'm gonna be like, Tertius, you shuffle quickly.
Great. You don't. It opens up. You can just like slide the wood panel off the front, and inside there is a stack of burned pages that look quite old.
What have you found over there?
Is there anything I can decipher from it?
Yeah. Do you want to read them?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great. I happen to have those burnt pages right.
Oh, props! Yes!
Yeah, I was inspired. This is the sort of thing I would have loved to have handed you if we were playing in real life, but I'll just have to read
Okay,
them.
hold on. I'll come get them.
So these are scraps. No, I burnt them too much, and you won't be able to fill in the missing words.
Oh, okay.
I got a little carried away. So yeah, these are scraps, and it looks like these were just kind of salvaged. It says, the first one says, "And I do not know what to do now but pray. Father Guillaume insists we have nothing to fear from the relic, but I know in my heart this is not so. I saw how brothers Lewis and Astor looked at those bones. I suggested we bury them where we found them, but was shouted down. Tomorrow," and it is cut off. "But I still cannot find him. Clearly there is evil among us, and a gluttony that cannot be quelled. I have fasted in defiance of it, and my brothers mocked me. I have retreated to this cloister to resume writing," and I just get burned away. "In my head, perhaps the fasting has put me closer to my Lord, who guides my hand as I write. I write everywhere, on these pages, the walls, my skin. I write the words as I hear them spoken in a language I do not understand. I feel my mind stretching to horizons unknown. I'm terrified of the voice that guides me, but..."
This is me caffeinated.
Yeah. "A beast, no longer a man. He attacked Father Guillaume, killed him like a rabid dog, then ate him as we could only watch in horror. I know what we must do, and I know the name of my enemy, Saiti, the fathomless hunger. He was slain once, and still his bones remained, scattered in 3 pieces in the woods. Those pieces must be burned in this brazier, but the bones are gone. I scoured the abbey, while the beasts, which I now know are the effigies of Saiti, were killing and eating my brothers in the courtyard. If I attempt to flee, they will surely eat me as well. I have but one recourse, to burn this tainted place to the ground, and hopefully these abominations with it." And then there's a signature scrawled, "Brother Etienne," and then the date, 1410.
Let's go burn down that tavern.
And then behind that is another piece of paper that is not burnt and seems in much better shape. It's just a piece of parchment. And on that is written, "We found Montaigne Abbey burned and abandoned. Could the word that sent us here be too late? We searched the rubble and found this hidden room and the burnt remains of Brother Etienne along with his notes. His eye remained miraculously unburnt, perhaps keeping a watch on his former home. We sanctified the eye as a holy relic to be returned to the armory.
What?
We head now into the forest to finish Saint Etienne's work. If we do not return, you shall find this letter and the eye, and you may hopefully finish what we did not." And it is signed, "Maxime, First Sword Vicar." The letter is stamped as if by a peculiar ring with a 7-pointed star, and it's dated 1797. And under that, as you read that and you look in the box, in the corner of the box, there is a brown sphere that you sort of recoil on a bed as you realize it is a petrified eyeball in the corner of that box.
So it's like a really scared eyeball?
No, it's petrified as in it's brown and hard.
Oh, okay.
That's good.
That's gross. Okay. So he did burn the place down, but he did save it.
Exactly. So this has sort of provided the missing puzzle piece to Herman without needing to roll for it. It just falls into place that he did set the fire in the monastery, but he was trying to stop this horrific contamination that was taking place. And this mysterious woman, Maxime, had found this evidence and had like kind of told the priest that he was in fact, like a hero, and had kind of reinforced that that legend.
So it seems like they don't know anyway. They had no recourse besides fire. They had no cure for this.
Well, it seems like, again, if because you have the notes,
Right.
it seemed like what Saint Etienne wanted to do was find 3 bones in the forest and burn them in this brazier here in this room. That would be the.
And how long
takeaway
ago
from
was
these
that?
notes. How long ago was the fire in this?
Notes.
These notes?
Mhm.
They're from 1410.
Right. Okay. Come on.
But-
So
but we
obviously, our
we know
boy Christian has found one of these bones. It drove him crazy and all munchy again. Who knows? I guess there's 2 others out there. I say we burn it all down. This place, the city, the fire. We go home. Forget about it.
Yes, I mean,
Yes.
why? There is one world where we go search for these bones, but there's no time for that. We must stop the infestation. We must murder everyone in this town who is infected.
It's very sad, but we don't have much other, recourse here. They must burn.
Well, it is settled.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, tell me what you'd like to do next.
Herman's gonna throw. Can I like exchange the light that's on my torch or my lantern? Like, can I get it lit by this fire? Like, is it possible for me to carry this fire with us in some way?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, if you try to if you snuff out your lantern and try to light it with that peculiar fire from the brazier, the fire when it's in your lantern is just the fire as you would.
So it's
It
the
would seem
brazier.
this brazier itself is the special ingredient.
Did we
Okay,
ever
so
search Christian's home?
no. Should we murder first or should we burn the bone?
I don't know. I mean, how much time do we have? It's
Have we
like
murder first?
it's like I mean, maybe she thought if we had these 3 bones, right? It was 3 bones.
Yes. We only know
We
the
just-
location of one bone.
But is it like a vampire bone where you murder the main bone and everybody else is fine after that?
I have read that story. Yes, I'm pretty sure Dracula was out at this point, so I could be wrong.
The latest fiction.
I mean, what do you think, Franny? We've been through hell together. Tertius, should we go and murder most of the town, or should we go burn one single bone?
We don't
Well-
even know the bones are there, but we may as well check. I'm sorry, Tertius.
No,
saying.
Franny, no, yes. I mean, if we know the location of one bone, why not just get it out of the way first and see what happens?
Well, because the rest of these people could cook and turn into an army of some sort of moth butterfly terror being, that turns us into all of those maybe bones. It's I don't know.
Yes.
So maybe we should be sure that they don't turn into more bones that create more hungry people that create more bones. But also, maybe we could just burn this bone and it'll all be over with. We won't have to do murder. So
Right.
I'm not sold either way.
Murdering is hard work.
Anyone want to touch the eyeball before we put it back in the wall?
I'll draw it, actually. And I go to carefully pick up the eyeball like this.
Cool. As you pick it up, cool. No, I love the as you pick it up and you turn it, as it gazes on your companions, the iris and pupil glow. They glow like lighter, almost white, and Herman and Franny, you both feel like laid bare. You feel like you are being like looked on by like
I didn't know he was my cousin. I just thought he was a different boy from a different town.
Yeah, that's you feel this this incredible scrutiny on you and yeah, like everything that you've ever done, Franny. And as you pull the eyeball away, Tertius, your vision is a bit fuzzy. You feel like as you would use this magic item, it would affect your vision the longer you used it. You kind of have to blink away clouds as you have like turned it away from them.
Wait. What just happened to you two?
The eye looked at me, and I knew it knew everything about me, so I kind of panicked and said some weird stuff.
Oh yes, we can use this eye on the staff, on the people in the town, on the cocoons themselves potentially.
All right, and the cocoons themselves. That means you think we could take it to the Christian and his wife. Not sure what condition she's in at this point. If she's just dead or what.
Christian's wife was the woman in the cocoon that got cracked open and is no longer alive.
Oh, she died. That's sad.
I didn't shoot her, though. I shot you. Just
I know. That's why I wasn't sure. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let's see what we can do.
Yes.
Okay. Ghost reader.
Yes. Tertius knows many things about these things. Follow him.
Did you guys go to school together? Or
I'm just a big fan.
Yeah.
I enjoy his work a lot.
Oh well, I can sell some to you.
Come on.
Also, and I don't want to railroad you all because I love you all in this, but I also want to try to land this game on time as guest keeper. Boy, I would be gauche of me to overstay my welcome. If anybody wants, they can do an idea roll based on the.
I was just gonna say we can run long. It's okay.
Okay, yeah. But I'll try to wrap it up. I would play all night. But if you want to do an idea roll based on the evidence you have, you could do that, or you can tell me what plan of action you want to do, and that will be like.
I'll do an idea roll.
I mean, just out of game real quick too. Like we know that we want to put the eye. We want to experiment with putting the eye next to the cocoon. We want to maybe look for the bone next, and then if none of those things work, if burning the bone doesn't just like immediately end it, then we're gonna go burn down the tavern, right? Is that the?
Yeah, you don't even have to do an idea roll because that sounds like a pretty.
I think so, but I did just do a roll and get a 7. So,
and that is what Saint Etienne had hoped to do. Burning the monastery was his last resort when that was like he knew that he could not escape. And that's what he did. So your plan sounds correct to me.
Wait, Eliza did get a 7. Is there anything else we can get out of that?
She concurs. I'll give you this with a 7 because that's an amazing roll. The eye. It seems like the eye didn't necessarily know anything about you, but it seems like if you it's like kind of judgment on you would be that if you harbored like evil, you would not want to be seen by the eye.
Okay. Sorts them out.
Yeah. Your takeaway from the eye. But yeah, if you want to run around the hospital shining the eye at people, you could totally do that.
Let's do it.
The eye of a judgmental librarian. Yeah.
The petrified eye of a monk who burned down his monastery. Cool. And you wanted to go to the room with the cocoons and show it around in there?
Mm-hmm.
And Tertius, you're the one who's using the eye, correct?
The wielder of the eye, yes.
Great. Cool. Yeah, as you go in, the cocoons are still there, and you you kind of are shining the eye in the cocoons, but there is no effect that you can gather.
Okay.
And Gabrielle has followed you into the room. She's like, is everything all right?
Shine it at her.
Show her the eye.
And I point the eye at Gabriel.
She kind of like blinks and she kind of seems a bit frozen, but she does not shy away from it.
An angel.
But again, as you have used it, Tertius, your vision is a bit cloudy. It's as if you have seen through Saint Etienne's eye instead of your own, and there's this bit of recovery period.
This is wearing on me. I don't want to ruin my own vision with this. There's some sort of after effects. Would either of you mind wielding this?
I'll take the
For the
next
time
one.
being. Yes.
Yeah.
You go, Herman. Yes.
We'll pass it.
Gabriel's like, you tore up the floor in Josephine's room?
No.
You found
Fast talk roll.
I mean, she saw that there was like a compartment. She's not. It's like
Wasn't us.
Brandy
no.
just runs her. I love it.
And she puts a meat pie in her pocket.
Yeah, you do have those meat pies.
They do have those meat pies.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily accusatory. She saw that there was this like
Mhm.
secret space. She's just kind of like asking. She's perplexed more than anything else.
Mm,
It was part of what we were sent here to do. Your superiors know about that, and we didn't want to worry you. But don't worry, we're on the case. Everything's going to be fine very soon. And that meat pie, very popular with the people of Yorkshire. So
mm.
She kind of like takes out this meat pie that's traveled several days by carriage through a heat wave in France, and she kind of takes it out and is like nibbling on it, and trying to be polite. She'll kind of walk out of the room.
the English are known for our cooking.
Great. Yeah, there's no the cocoons don't try to get away from the eye.
Right. So Herman's got the eye. You guys want to head to the village, or
We're going to get the bone first, right? Can Gabrielle tell us where Christian lives?
She doesn't know specifically where he lives, but she knows he lives in the village of Puyan. Are you telling her why you want to go down there?
Oh, absolutely. Herman is pumping full of adrenaline, and he's just a blabbermouth at this point. So he will absolutely immediately say, "We must burn a bone." And he's like, this.
She will correct you in that she does not think the bone is where he lives, because he returned from the forest talking about it, but did not have it. She, as far as she knows, from speaking with all the people who came, all 6 of them, when they were lucid, Christian never emerged from the forest with a bone. However, he was talking about one that he found in the forest.
where in the forest?
He was a hunter, and he roamed those woods near where this hospital is, hunting game.
Do you think this eyeball can divine bones in the wood?
If not, I'm a hunter, and so that's like part of my story is like I'm like experienced with hunting. So like maybe if they can just give me a game trail, I can find it. But probably the magical eye might do a better job of it. So.
All right. I mean, it's survived out there for 400 years, but sure.
My experience with game, I've hunted foxes, so.
Right. So we're in good hands. We're in great hands then.
I'm a great shot, he says, and then he's like, oh, sorry.
He's more than capable. I've seen it myself. Yes.
Okay, so we're heading out to the forest.
Great. Yeah, you walk in. It's now fully night. You can hear the sounds of all of the night bugs, and you've got the moon overhead. Herman has a lantern. Were either of you two, Tertius and Franny, are you bringing like a torch or a candle or anything? there are also lanterns in the hospital you could just borrow.
Yeah,
Does a
I'll borrow a lantern.
Does a cigarette count?
Perfect.
He's holding us.
all the light that I need. Perfect. I love it.
We are on the right path.
Yeah, Herman, if you try the eye first, you don't need to roll for it, but if you just kind of are like looking around with the eye, the pupil and iris do not illuminate. They only seem to react to looking at a person. So that does not seem to get you anywhere. However, you can go ahead and give me a track roll if you'd like to try to pick up a game trail.
Oh boy, okay. I gotta get a 30 or below. I got a 23. Look at that.
Yes, there it is. You are able to pick up a game trail and head deeper into these woods if you'd like. The woods are quite dense. This is a lush, almost primeval forest. It's like thick with trees and ground cover. There don't seem to be like any dedicated footpaths. You kind of are just able to pick up this game trail and kind of make your way through it as the forest kind of swallows up the glow from your lantern as you're making your way through. And eventually you come to a clearing following this game trail, and all of you can give me a spot hidden roll if you like.
I used up all my good rolls. That's a 48.
76.
Okay, yeah, success 55 versus 70.
There we go.
Cool. So you got a 76, which was a fail, but Tertius, you succeeded?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Cool. So by the glow of your cigarette, Tertius, as you're no, and the glow from Herman's lantern, you do see kind of an odd pale shape in the moonlight, kind of on the edge of this clearing. And if you go over, it appears to be a massive jawbone, kind of like jutting out of the soil. And it is huge. The exposed part is easily like 2.5 feet long.
Oh, am I able to kind of identify what this might have come from?
You can give me a natural world roll.
Okay.
Unless you have another idea.
Yeah, I'll roll with that.
Okay.
Literally.
Hey.
Yeah,
A failure.
Is it close enough to use luck or anything?
It's not by any means. 96 versus 60.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
You
Can I give it a natural roll?
Not quite a fumble. Totally, yeah, you can. I mean, assuming that Tertius has pointed this out to his companions.
I got a 10.
I'll do it. Oh, you got it.
Nice. And your natural world is an 8, so that's a hard roll. So Herman, you can kind of come over, take it in. This is like no animal that you have seen before. It does not look natural.
Can I push my luck to get a full success?
Unsettling. Yes.
All right, I'm gonna push. So I just gotta push it down to 8.
Great.
So
You can check the box next to natural world.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And if you survive this adventure, you can improve it. So not only does it not look natural, with that extreme success, you can kind of see as you're crouched down beside it with your lantern, you can see there's like a very faint, almost like crystal blue, veiny pattern to, kind of laced throughout the bone. That seems to be like all over this bone, but nothing about this bone suggests that it came from any earthly animal. And it's just the sheer amount that you can see exposed in the dirt. It truly came from something massive.
Herman is like squatted down and looking at the bone like this, and when he stands back up, his shirt is fully unbuttoned, and he goes,
I love that Herman just gets steamier as the mystery deepens.
"We must burn it."
Right, do we burn it here or do we take it back to the altar and burn it there? Does it matter where we burn it?
Yes, things this evil should be burnt in the fire that we have found. It is awful.
I feel like I'm on fire myself right now, Herman. Your shirt.
Oh,
Yeah, you're exploding out of it, Herman.
I've stepped into a new version of myself, and I am.
Is there a wind in here? What's blowing on him? Something's blowing through your hair. I'm not getting blown.
It is the horrors of other worlds.
Okay.
It's like I've seen it. I've gazed upon it through this hunger that we have seen, and no more will I doubt.
The other thing I'm going to tell you, Herman, because you got that extreme roll, is as you were looking at the skull, you notice that the plants that were kind of growing near it seem a bit kind of like malformed and twisted. Like some of the leaves have like kind of a black edge on them, but it's you can just kind of see they're kind of like kind of a twisted version of themselves.
Is it the leaves that are touching the bone?
No, it just seems to be in kind of an invisible circumference around the bone.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I think it's time for us to like carry this bone back to the altar and burn it. What is the cool word that you use for a fireplace, Andrew?
Brazier.
Brazier. Yeah. Let's take the brazier and burn it. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great.
Sounds good to me.
Does it matter that? Are there any? Before we go? Can we like look around and see if there's any other bones? Wasn't it supposed to be 3?
Totally. Who's going to grab this bone?
Not.
You said that somebody grabbed it. Who grabbed this bone?
I think Herman is the one. He's like, he had his moment with it. He absolutely is just going to see if he can like hoist it up and hold it himself.
With your bare hands?
Yes, Andrew, with my bare fucking hands. Yeah.
Great. As soon as you touch the bone, it's as if you're no longer standing in the forest. You're standing in just a field of blackness with like in the distance are like just seemingly like glinting stars. And you've never felt smaller or more insignificant and alone in your entire life as you just stand there. And behind you, you're just aware of a presence that is like kind of like leaning over you. And it's just, you can't like hear it. And it's not giving you any like physical cues, but it's just in the marrow of your bones. You're aware of this massive presence kind of just leaning all around you. And you just hear this guttural grunt from behind you, like, give me a sanity roll.
Whew, I gotta get under my intelligence. 23. Man, I am rolling like crazy tonight.
Cool. You lose 1 sanity, and suddenly you're back in the forest, holding the bone, but you drop it as you kind of come back, almost as if it has an electric current running through it.
Can I just try to pick it right back up?
Yeah, with your bare hands again? Yeah.
I mean, we got to get this thing the fucking fire. Yeah, I think Herman like succeeded in that role, so he feels this and he feels this fear. But right now, he's just like, when it's me and God, like, let's go. And so he's gonna pick it back up. Yeah, let's.
Cool. Yeah, the same thing happens as you're holding it. There's clearly like this piece of bone is clearly like a conduit to an incredibly powerful presence. I'm going to need you to make that sanity roll again.
Okay, I think I feel. Oh no, I'm still under. I got a 56, and my intelligence is 60. So.
Okay, well, what's your sanity level? That's that's the other.
Sorry, yeah, I succeeded still last time, but my sanity level is 37, so I failed this one.
Okay, so you're going to lose. You're going to lose 2 more sanity points.
Okay.
Can I kick him away?
And you come back in the forest and you drop the bone again in the dirt.
He's like going to pick it back up again.
Yeah, and I would like to kick him away from the bone.
Okay.
And then just drop my lantern on the bone and try to light it on fire right here.
Cool. Yeah, you the bone is there on the ground, and you kind of smash a lantern on it, and the lamp oil kind of spreads on it, and it like flickers, and you can just watch as like the lamp oil kind of like burns away, and the bone is like unblemished.
So bones don't burn, I guess, huh?
I guess there's nothing
this-
left. I guess we just have to murder the
this
whole
one.
town. I think there's no
You,
other option.
Franny, you said you wanted to look for more bones.
Oh yeah.
Great. Yeah, you and Tertius can give me spot hidden rolls to search the area.
I got a 22. So that should be
That's
good enough.
very good. That's a hard one. And Tertius?
A hard success as well. 23.
Oh,
versus
nice.
70.
All right, great. Yeah, you are both able, as you kind of walk around in this forest, you are both able to find large sections of bone as well that resemble this one. Are you going to pick them up?
No, I'm gonna wrap it in my skirt and pick it up that way.
Okay, great.
Franny, no, you'll have to see God.
No, I'm not touching it.
Oh.
Don't touch it, Ammon.
Tertius, you also got a hard success. So in addition to your bone, you find like a peculiar mound of dirt not far from this third piece of bone.
Oh, since it's peculiar, I'm going to take the spade and try to disturb it and see what's underneath.
Cool. As you dig down, about 2 feet down, your shovel like hits something, kind of like with a clink. And as you scrape the dirt away, you can see that there's a skeleton in here. And you've touched it. It's wearing like a leather breastplate, and your shovel has struck that leather breastplate.
Oh, so it's a cool skeleton.
No, it's
The
like
coolest
a
skeleton.
it's some sort of man, like a burning man. It's like a burning man skeleton. Sorry, go ahead.
Herman, Franny, I have some more material over here. There's a skeleton with a breastplate. A cool skeleton.
Yes.
Yeah, if you want to take the moments to excavate these, you may.
We do have a shovel.
Sure.
Cool.
Indeed.
As you scrape the dirt away from the shallow grave, you uncover not one but two skeletons, and they are both wearing very deteriorated leather armor, and they both are holding rusted swords as well. And they're kind of they're wearing like ragged garments that are just kind of threadbare that have rotted away.
Can I use history to see kind of from the breastplates who these people were or what they belonged to?
Yeah, it's going to be a hard history roll.
Okay. Let's try it. Nope. Failure.
Yeah, you're not sure how old these might be. But you can see that one of the skeletons is wearing a ring on its hand.
Oh, they're married.
Oh boy! Does the ring match the seal that we saw on the letter?
It does. It's a 7-pointed star.
Ooh.
So
I'm gonna take the ring
Okay.
with my bare hands.
Nothing happens.
And you grabbed a bone with your skirt, right, Franny?
Mm-hmm.
And that didn't send you to another god.
Doesn't sound
Nope.
like it now.
Then shall we carry it? Then I don't have a
Yeah,
skirt.
maybe
but
each of you grab one of these bones that we found, wrap it in something. Don't touch it. This one went all loopy when we touched it. He touched it.
I'll take my shirt completely off and
Oh, boy.
wrap the bone in it. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you were wearing like 5 layers. You probably have layers to spare if you'd like to
Let him
wrap.
do what he wants to do.
Yeah.
I
I take my jacket off, so Tertius, for modesty, and I like throw him my jacket so he can wrap the bone in it, and then I take my shirt off. And
Oh yes, yes.
clearly
yeah.
unnecessary. Like Herman just is feeling like he must take a shirt off. So.
Very much appreciated, Herman. And I take the jacket and then kind of wrap up one of the skeletons with the breastplates the best I can in the jacket, so I can kind of pick it up in like a bundle almost.
Yeah.
I'll even use my jacket to kind of get it together as much as I can.
Okay, great. So yeah, you all have these 3 pieces of bones, and you have this ring.
And skeletons too, right?
Oh, you're taking the
Yes.
the skeletons and everything?
Yeah, as much as I can. Like I know they're
Oh, okay.
probably not together, but like just bundled up inside of the jacket.
I have 5 shirts. We can tie it together. You know.
No, that's totally good. When you pick up the skeleton that was wearing the ring, underneath it there is a silver metal cylinder, and there's also a dagger that's in a small sheath.
Oh, I'm going for both of those. A dagger and sheath with my bare hands.
Oh, it's like someone set
Nothing-
up an
nothing
escape
happened.
room out here in the forest. What is this?
Oh gosh. Are these did they give me any sort of like occult vibes to them, or are they just normal things?
The silver metal cylinder has a message inside it. It's written in Italian. Do you speak Italian?
I do not.
Ooh,
So
man,
you're not.
I speak French. Well,
So
it's a
close.
romantic
It's
language.
so
you know?
close.
I speak Latin. It's the root.
That's absolutely it. It's the same thing. Wait, do I speak anything?
The dagger is peculiar because the blade is pristine. The swords that were in here were very like rusted and in poor shape from this shallow grave. But this dagger, it could have just come out of a forge today. So this dagger seems peculiar to you. If you wanted to roll occult on it, you can. If that's what you were asking to do.
Yes, I'll
Okay.
roll a occult on it.
Good call.
Ooh. So this is 25 versus 25 success.
Woo!
All right. On the hilt of this dagger, there is the 7-pointed star that was on the ring that Herman took. And as you hold this dagger, you can sense it has some sort of power behind it. It is not merely a dagger, but some sort of magic blade. But what its effect is, you're not sure. You think that it you can't like gauge it by kind of waving it around.
Okay.
Vicious. What do you think?
There's something peculiar about this. But I can't figure out what it is. The bones. Yes.
That wasn't.
So
you didn't make a hard. Yeah, you made a regular success in the occult. So yeah, that's what I'll tell
regular.
you. Yeah.
A regular. Yes. Can I try to just test on one of the bones? Just casually scraping on the side of one of the random bones. See if it does anything.
Yeah, it like makes a little groove on it, but there's nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay.
It just seems like it's a sharp dagger.
We'll hold on to this for safekeeping.
Yes. Well, shall we drag the bones to the fire then, and then figure out if we need to murder the whole town or not?
Yes, we shall. You don't need a jacket or shirt or anything.
I am quite warm with the fire of this adventure.
Yes, you're hot.
Tertius,
Yes.
I must tell you, I am willing to murder the town if it will keep the world safe, and it weighs heavy on my heart as it feels against the morals that I walked in here with. But I as my friend, I must be open with you that I will murder the town if it comes to it.
You have changed, and this is not This is not the Herman that I know, but if worse comes to worse, we
Are
can
you
create-
willing?
I'm willing to stand by and document the scene for artistic purposes. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes, let's kill them.
Yes. Okay. Yes. I am part of this Neptune society now, and I am a fan. I did not know before. Now I do, and I thank you for that, friend.
Sometimes there are hard decisions that must be made, but if it is for the betterment of the world, we must do these things. Sometimes shirtless.
Yes. Let us drag our bones back to the church and burn the bones down.
I peed in the woods. Sorry.
Wondered where
Franny
you
like
went. Oh.
peed on one of the remaining skeletons. No,
No,
God.
out in the woods. Come on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm pro. I'm down to drag these bones back to the church.
Great.
Let's go.
You mean hospital or church?
I mean, the hospital. It used to be an abbey,
Right, the
you know?
monastery. Great.
Yeah. I don't know if you know that, Andrew, but
hospital. Yeah. No, sorry. Great. Yeah. So, we will put you back in that room in the catacombs with the brazier.
I'll throw my bone up on the brazier, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I have the big bundle of bones and such in the jacket, so I just toss everything in, including the jacket.
Okay. Great.
But he won't be able to wear any. All right. Okay.
Indeed.
And Herman.
I'm throwing my bone in.
All right. Yeah, as you can see, these three fragments, they're just massive, and you can kind of make out some features like, this is surely like an eye socket, but the eye, would be this big, and you're kind of able to, it looks like these three pieces might even like fit together in some way as you kind of like jumbled them in here. Do you want to light the fire?
Yeah.
All right. As you are getting ready to light the fire, from up above in the hospital, you can hear a commotion. You hear some yelling, some very loud yelling, and you can hear the sounds of things being thrown about and overturned. And then there are screams as well. And it just sounds like all hell is breaking loose up through that small hatch up in the hospital.
Can we light the fire before we do anything else? Or
Yeah, I still want to light that fire.
Yes. Yeah. Quickly now.
Cool. Yeah, as you light the fire, the flames flicker blue like they did before, and this time you could see the bones start to blacken, and it seems like this fire is definitely having an appreciable effect. But up in the hospital, you hear a horrific pig-like scream that's echoed from several other sources in the hospital as soon as the skull lights up, and you hear the doors that lead to this room where Josephine is. You hear the doors absolutely explode off their hinges as debris like scatters into this room.
Can we close the door? Close ourselves in here?
In the hatch? Yeah. The hatch opened up. It was a pull ring that ups, so someone will need to go up and get that hatch and pull it down.
I'll do that with my knife.
Franny, you're so brave. Great. Franny, as you are under the hatch and climbing up, something wet hits you in the nose and then on your forehead and on your cheek. And as you look, it's blood. It's wet blood. And as you look up through the hatch, there's a monstrous shadow looming over the hatch. And as you're like kind of looking up, you just see like a man's hairy calves and kind of like a disheveled hospital robe But when you look up, there's like an immense broad shoulders and like a bull-like neck and two eyes glittering in the dark of this room. And the head is something horrifying and unrecognizable. The eyes are just close set, glittering coals, and the whole lower jaw has sort of sagged and deformed. And these like large, they look like blunt, but thick and powerful teeth are kind of like jutting out. And Will Potter home run on this art as this thing is standing over you, and there's just wet blood all over the side of its face, dripping off of its chin on you as it's like looking down at you as you've kind of come up to shut this hatch on it.
Right. So I get the blood on my face. I go, ugh, I'm a midwife, not my first time. And I take my knife and I jam it into his foot, and then I grab the door and I close it.
It just like screams this like horrible, again, this boar like scream, like rock, rock. You can give me the stab roll for stabbing it in the foot.
Andrew,
What
amazing
is that?
pitch.
What am
You're
I trying to roll? I got
trying to roll a 25 or less.
33. Shit. Well, I got a 33.
Okay, so you like go to stab it in the foot, and you miss. But if you want to give me just give me a straight up dexterity roll. Let's see if you can shut this hatch real fast.
Ooh, I got a 13.
Oh, that's very fast. Cool. So you're like miss, like wonk, and you close that wooden hatch behind you, and immediately you could hear this like hammering force on the other side, and you can watch as this like hatch is like bouncing down as this thing is just like smashing away on it. And meanwhile, Tertius and Herman, you could see the bones are blackening, and they're clearly like burning for sure. As they're as the fire is kind of catching to them, but they're large bones, and it's kind of taking a moment to spread. And as Franny, as you're kind of there in the corridor, the wood starts to splinter as these like fists are coming through. And then like the hatch is just torn completely away. And this like the whole corridor is blocked as this like creature has just jumped down in it. And it's like bulk is like filling it. And it's like kind of like sniffing in the dark. And you can hear some more curious sniffs from upstairs in the room, and you hear Josephine's voice up there in the dark, like, "Hello, who's that in the dark?" And then you're like, "Rrr, rrr," and you just hear like the smashing and clattering of a bed being kind of like bashed against the wall, and this like terrible sounds of like bones crunching, and not unlike the sounds you heard, Herman, in the back of that church when you walked by that priest who was eating.
Not a butterfly.
all I have is my knife, and I tried using that.
And this thing is just kind of just not waddling, but just with it in this like kind of cramped space, because it is a large beast-like man is kind of like coming for you, Franny, and it's going to lunge at you and try to take a bite out of you. And it's going to narrowly miss, but it's going to try to bite you again.
There's two chances to bite me.
That's gonna. It does get two chances.
It's got two mouths. It's got two
Yeah,
mouths.
what's that about? It failed.
It failed, but it gets 2 attacks. You take 3 damage, and now everyone. We are entering in combat, so anyone who would be using a firearm gets to go first, but everyone else can give me a dexterity roll. Oops.
Failure.
Oh, it's just for your place in the. Sorry.
Oh, gotcha.
For your place in the initiative.
Okay, cool. Yeah. 60.
So you got a 60?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What am I supposed to be rolling for?
Give me a dexterity roll for your place in the combat. Unless you're using a gun, in which case you get to go first.
No, you got to do a combat. It's 36.
You got a 36?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I have a gun.
Great. So you get to go first, Herman, with your gun. So you'll just roll that rifle roll.
Die, swine. And I'm going to take a shot. Yeah. So firearm roll. I got a 58. I failed.
All right. So it's this thing's turn, Franny, and it's just going to, as it got like, it just kind of got like a nibble of you, but it like, tasted your flesh and opened a wound on you. It's just like,
it's my turn though, not his turn.
It's his turn. It's going to now just ravenously go after you. And it is going to miss both times. Wow. Insane. Now it's your turn, Franny.
All right. I want to take my big knife and try to jam it straight into the mouth of the keeper.
Thank you. Thank you. Franny says that I'm unfairly mean to her, but she was the one who volunteered to go up and close that door.
Yeah, she's brave. I got a 21. That's good.
That hits. That's a 1d8. 1d8 damage.
Oh,
1d8. It looks like a big chunky diamond. Oh, all right.
Big chunky diamond. I only got a 4.
4? Hey, that's damage. All right, Tertius, it's your turn. You can also move on your turn if you'd like to move, Franny. You get to move in an action.
Yeah, I'd like to, I don't know, get on the other side of the fire.
Yeah.
Where is it? So we're in like a room.
Your friends are back by the brazier. You're in the corridor, and this thing is coming down the corridor towards you.
Okay. Can I jump behind him?
The beast?
Yeah.
No, it pretty much fills the car. I mean, you could maybe try to slip around to the side if that's what you want to do.
All right. No, I'll get back and be on the other side of the brazier, on the other side of the fire.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, Franny runs in and she runs behind you all. Tertius, it's your turn.
Okay. Do I have enough? So am I able to move towards it and then try to hit in this turn?
Yeah, you do. You get a move and attack, correct?
Right. Yes, but will it be feasible for me to get there then a hit as well?
Yeah. It's not that far away. It's 10 feet away from you.
Got you. Okay. Yes, I'm going to move up and I'm going to try to swing the spade at it. I don't know. Maybe I could use the sort of large spear stats for it. I mean, not spear, in a large club.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
Just like a D8. Yeah.
You saved me. Thank you, keeper. I was like, oh no, I don't have the damage for that spade.
No problem. That is a failure. It doesn't work. Okay. As I try to swing at this like leg area, and I'm like, must draw. No, and then I try to swing. And
cool. So now we're back to another round of combat. Herman, you have to reload your rifle. Your rifle only holds 1 bullet at a time, sadly. So you have to, if you want to shoot again, you have to spend a turn reloading your rifle.
I think it's too urgent for that. Herman's going to drop his rifle and go punch this thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be brave, he says to himself, and like throws his gun to the ground and is like, come here.
You could also use your gun as a club as well.
Well, I'm already decided.
Herman's going through something.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. No, it's fine. It's fine.
No. I know that's a better idea, Andrew, but I already said it, and I'm excited about it. So I'm gonna roll forward and just like arms out and just go toward this pig man and take a swing at him.
Cool.
Oh, great. Yeah, I have to roll. Oh boy. Okay, so this is just.
So you're trying to roll
fighting brawl, and I got over a 25, which I needed. So I got a 33, so I failed.
Okay. All right. This thing, as you come up, you're just like miserably kind of like whiff at it. Pugilism not being your strong suit. But this thing like turns, kind of having lost Franny's scent, and it just like opens its giant jaws to try to bite you, which it will fail on its first one. Wow, terrible rolls. And it will fail on its second one. Craziness. Franny, it's your turn.
Okay, so so now why didn't Herman use his gun? He had to reload it, but
You had to reload it.
Yeah.
does that take a whole turn?
Yeah. It's basically that's the downside of adventuring in 1872.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Do I still have my lantern? No, I smashed that in the forest. Yeah, okay. I guess I'm just going to use my knife again, and this time I'm going to try to jam it into his eyeball. Oh,
Great.
Also, does this guy look familiar? Like, can I tell where he came from, who he is, what this pig guy is?
I'd say that you couldn't because you've never seen who he looked like before he was transformed, but he's wearing a hospital gown, so you would reckon that was a patient here at the hospital.
Okay.
Does he have a little name tag that says Christian?
He does not, but you would, I mean, just the common sense of it is like, oh shit, this is probably something from one of those cocoons.
Okay, so maybe first I want to try out doing like just like a some sort of French lullaby, you know, like Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques. See if it like lulls
I'll give it to you for
him
free because I like
at
it.
all.
It does not. No.
All right, then stab him in the eye with the knife.
Great. Give me the roll. Did you get under a 25?
No.
Okay.
I got a 44.
And it is Tertius's turn.
Yes. Herman, do you still have that eye?
Yes, I do. I've got both mine and the extra one.
The extra one, yes. Maybe we could use this. Try. Can I? How would this work?
It's in my pocket. It's in my pocket. Grab it.
Okay. I'm gonna run and then grab the eye out of the pocket.
Nice. Great.
And then directly pointing it at the beast.
Cool. Yeah, the pupil and iris kind of glow bright, and it kind of like shrieks. It is like throwing up. It's like massive forearms. Like it does not like being seen by this eye.
How burnt are these bones now?
That is a great question. You don't have to roll to see. They look over half blackened as the fire has kind of climbed up them.
Can I give it like a?
You're gonna try to fan the flames. Great. It's not your turn yet, but I like that. Herman, it's your turn.
I'm gonna punch this pig man in the face.
All right,
Absolutely. Yeah. That's gonna be an 87. Not even close.
Okay.
Yeah.
This pig is like it's trying to avoid Tertius, but it like can still see you, Herman. And that will hit. It's going to hit you for 4 damage as it bites into you, and you just feel these teeth that weren't designed for like piercing, but just to crush, as it's just like crushing flesh and bone. And it's going to try to bite you again and succeed on that one, and bite you for 2 more damage.
Okay. These are my first 2 hits, I believe, and I'm past half my hit points.
Okay.
I'm at 5.
So I believe in your past half, you have to make a Constitution roll. Is that correct? Yes, it is.
Great. Okay, cool. So I got to roll under con. My con's 57, and I got a 31.
Great.
Herman's holding on. That's
all right, Franny. You want to try to fan these flames? Is that your action?
No, I'm gonna try to stab the monster in the eye again.
Great.
This time I got a 22. Does that do it?
Yeah, that hits. Roll that 1d8.
Oh boy, 8.
Ooh, nice. Max damage. Yeah, you just get in like a vicious stab, and the pig creature is still recoiling from the eye, and kind of it opens it up for you to get that stab in. And Tertius, it's your turn.
Thank you, Franny. I say, bleeding.
Now I'm going to run up and give another swing as I just kind of put the eye away momentarily to swing the spade. Yes! Perfect. Success. Regular success.
Great.
And that'll be a D8. Okay. 7.
7. Okay. Yeah, you just absolutely like clock this thing. You're surprised that the wooden handle of the shovel doesn't break. You get such a solid hit in as it's kind of like smacked back, and it's clearly tottering on its feet. And now it is your turn, Herman.
Great. Good show, Tertius. And just still bleeding. I'm going to try and get up to him and punch him again.
Great.
So that's going to be a 49. Not at all.
A
So
fail. All right.
Nothing. No, swinging and a miss. I'm a bookworm. Not a.
It's going to miss you as a bite. Whoa. And it misses and it fumbles. It misses so bad. So it like lunges at you and it like misses and kind of falls on the floor. And now, Franny, it's your turn.
Oh, I'd like to stamp on its head.
Great. Give me an unarmed roll. Roll under a 45.
I got a 10. This is what happened before. A 10. I got a 10.
Oh, awesome. All right. So perhaps it was Tertius's shovel cracked a few plates in this thing's head, but you just walk over and you like stomp, and with like a sickening squelch, the head just like sprays gore all over the floor of this cavern as the brains come out. And there's like a moment as you're like panting in the flickering firelight in here, and then you hear 2 solid thumps from the end of this corridor as 2 more of these creatures have just jumped down the hatch. But as they do that and they're kind of like stalking towards you, the bones in the brazier have fully blackened, and you can kind of like hear them like settling and like crunching. And as you look, they've sort of like oriented themselves and they're not like connected, but now you can actually see their shape, and they're this massive boar skull, and you could see all of the veins sort of glowing in them. And again, hats off to Will Potter for this amazing skull of Saiti. But you're able to see this this horrific skull that is not quite formed. And then as if like 1,000 pigs are screaming at once, there's just like a flash of like white light as the fire in the brazier grows. So you can't look at it, and it's just like you just have to throw your arms up to shield yourself from it, as there's just this like roaring, consuming fire. And you can like hear, and if you were to look over your shoulder, you see that the 2 hog people in the hallway are also burning with that same like intense light, like as they're just like squealing like as just like fireballs. And this just continues for like several minutes. You're just kind of in this like chamber with these like burning lights that gradually burn down, and the skull has completely burned away. There's not even blackened remnants of it, as have the 2 hog people that were stalking you from the hallway. And it's just quiet. And we're way over time, so I will kind of as you climb out and the hospital is completely destroyed. It's clear that there was an epic carnage here. There's half devoured corpses scattered around. You don't find anyone alive, although Dr. Vess and Gabrielle are nowhere to be found. You don't find their remains, and you don't find them here in the hospital, but there's also significantly fewer people in the hospital, period. But if you all want to do a real quick epilogue scene for your character, and then we can end.
Is there anything left of Josephine?
There is not. There's just a blood stain on her bed.
No belongings or anything?
Nope. Oh, and the nightstand. In her nightstand, you can find some letters. It appears from her daughter, who lives in northern France. You can find various letters that seems were sent to her.
All right, I'll take one of those so I have the address. I can write to her and tell her that her mother died peacefully.
Cool. And on the final letter, you down at the bottom, you could see hand drawn. There is a 7-pointed star on there.
Wow.
I'm gonna hand Franny the ring and be like, heirlooms.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna keep that ring though. Sorry, that's mine now.
She loves rings, Harlan. Watch out. Cool. So Franny now has these letters with this mysterious sigil on them, as well as a matching ring. Tertius, how about what would you like your epilogue scene? And I apologize, I would like meatier epilogue scenes, but I've cruised well past the
wow,
time.
Sorry, it wasn't meaty enough for you. Good luck,
No,
London.
it's good. I just mean like it'd be fun
No,
to
no,
like
no,
go through more.
Okay. Before I get to the epilogue, I just have to say, you remember like being in an elementary school and you go to your friend's house and their parents are arguing and like you gotta like pet the dog, to just like.
Yeah.
I apologize for Franny.
What? Oh boy!
London, you and me are just like overplaying Nintendo in the corner. Like,
no, it's good. Tertius just goes and inspects the grounds, draws all of these things that he's seen, the cocoons, the skull, this fell giant that's there, the symbol, this mysterious symbol that's been popping up everywhere, even from the ring and from Josephine's belongings. He draws the rippling, beautiful, top-hatted form of someone. Anyway, he keeps going and he just documents all these things down to paint them once he returns to the city.
Is Tertius Will? Are these drawings we see just like crossovers of like she's like manifesting Will's actual drawings in game in real life?
Headcanon.
Yeah.
Headcanon. That's it. But that's how he wraps up here. That he's going around and collecting these things. Franny and Herman, this wasn't the best, sort of holiday that we could have had here, but I'm glad it was with you two.
It's always good to see you.
Yes. Would you care for a cigarette?
Oh no, I don't smoke. But are you finished with the drawings?
I'm still working on them.
Okay, I don't have to see them. I more so want to know if you're fit. He kind of like gestures to this like Frankenstein building that is the Abbey and the hospital put together. He's like, are you finished here?
Herman, what would I do without you? I didn't even think of this. And he walks over to like the big like grass in front of the area, just sits down and just looks up and just starts working.
Cool. I will patiently wait until he's done, and once he's kind of given me the nod, I'm gonna set that thing on fire. Absolutely. So, and kind of can we get like are the people normal now, or is the end of my epilogue going and setting the tavern on fire too?
Oh, back in town?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you were to go back in town, it seems like after you have burnt the skull, normalcy has returned.
We can point the eye at him.
The bistro is they pass the eye test. The bistro is barely populated, much to Hugo's lament. But it seems like yes, you have restored normalcy in the town of Puyan, and not a moment too soon.
Okay, cool. Well, then I will only burn down this church. I don't know, Abbey.
You can burn down the church too.
Yeah. No, I've had enough horror.
Yeah.
So,
okay, great. Yeah. Amazing game.
Yeah.
You three ruled, and I'm sorry I went so late. I'm going to say goodbye to these three amazing players real quick. Tell us where people can find you
Your house.
Great. Come on over to my house.
You can check out Andrew and I's Spelljammer 5e Spelljammer game. That's we stream every Monday at 7:00 Pacific time. Follow us on Twitter at BTHDND or on Twitch at twitch.tv/BetterThanHeroes. It's great.
Nice. Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at London Carlisle, my name. You can also find me at Spot Hidden, which is my Call of Cthulhu actual play show. Lots of fun. If you love Call of Cthulhu, I think we have a great time. So that's it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You three ruled. I will say goodbye to you now. And we just have some end of show announcements to get through real quick. Thank you all so much. Stream of Blood has programming all throughout the week. Normally on Saturdays, there would be a Stream of Blood game, which totally rules. It's called Blood and Blades. It's a shared game series of Blades in the Dark. But unfortunately, this Saturday's game is canceled. So the crew of Becca Scott, Jessica Singleton, and Nicole Schreiber, the Weird Sisters, will not be playing, and it pains us to do so. But Blood and Blades will return next Saturday with the 10 Whistles, and then the following Saturday with our updated subscriber faction turn. Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific is more Vampires of Pittsburgh with Ashley Birch, Ross Bryant, and Abu Bakar Salim. Every week with these characters is a tour de force, and we expect this week to be no different. Catch up on YouTube and join us live. Stream of Blood is also a podcast. You can find it on the podcatcher of your choice. Subscribe, download, rate, and review it so that people can see all the cool stuff that's going on over here. It truly helps. Call of Cthulhu 7th edition is by Chaosium Incorporated. Game design by Sandy Peterson and a whole host of brilliant folks. Original artwork for the Neptune Society is by Will Potter. Oh my gosh. He crushed it. I always love his art on the stream, and the gross things I asked him to draw, he absolutely nailed. Good job, Will. You can see more at willpotter.com or find him on Instagram. The Stream of Blood original music is by Warbird. You can check it out at soundcloud.com/Warbird. The absolute best way to support the work that Stream of Blood does is to subscribe on Twitch and to spread the word. Tell people about all the great shows that they do. Subscribe and comment on YouTube, little things like that. They do help. You can find Stream of Blood on Instagram and Twitter as _Stream of Blood _ and on Reddit at r/Stream of Blood. The best way to connect with us and other SOBs is our Discord, Stream of Blood's Server of Blood. And this is where you can be part of the Blood and Blades faction turns also. And because it is legally required to do so, we are also on Facebook. If you want to tell your mom about the show, your dad, they can find it on Facebook. Special thanks go to producers and partners Brian Baldinger and Clinton Trucks. Clinton Trucks, the Secret Keeper. He throws amazing suggestions throughout the game. It truly spoils me having a Secret Keeper in the stream. I wish every game I ran had a Clint Trucks helping me out. Our social media manager is Megan Arch. YouTube content producer is Matt Moynihan. The Stream of Blood logo was created by Garrett Ross, and the opening animation is by me. That was me. I did that little animation. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry to take us 50 minutes over the end time, but I hope you had a good time and enjoyed the show. I had a blast running it, and thanks for letting me be the guest keeper. And Jared will be back with a new amazing... I know what the next Neptune Side Adventure is, and I can't wait to watch it. So we'll see you then.